Hi, everyone, and welcome back to episode number 60 of the Couch on Ice podcast. Not lots to talk about, but a lot of shitty stuff to talk about today. Got some COVID stuff to talk about with postponements, some sad Olympic news, maybe some trade talk to lighten the mood. But before we get into some of that information, I'll introduce the boys. I'll throw it over to Jordan. What did you get up to the past few days, Jordan?
No, not too much. We've just been relaxing at home a bit. It's been pretty cold, so not too much to go out and do, unfortunately. But
yeah, I feel that. Chase, what about you? What did you get up to?
Oh, actually went to the old ODR. Slapped some pucks around a couple days in a row. That was nice. A bit cold out, but like whatever. Had to shovel the rink before I could skate. But like whatever. That's how she goes.
How was the ODR? Was it decent? Did it need more wintering?
The first one I went to was pretty rough. It was fairly rough, but there was like a good 60-70% of it that was good.
Oh yeah.
And the shovel I have actually, well, it wasn't really great. But once I went over it with my shovel like 7 times, because it's got the old steel blade on it.
Yeah,
it actually like works super good. I was
That's
like legitimately scraping the ice. By the time I was done, actually some people ended up coming.
Oh really?
And helping near the end when I was already there for like so long.
Right.
And yeah, once we got it all cleaned off, I was like, well, fuck, I might as well stay and finish cleaning this off. And then yeah, just so much better. I just couldn't even handle the puck anymore.
Oh really?
Just sliding all over. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I remember real ice now. But the other one I went to was pretty awesome though. Like it was actually legit boards and
yeah. I haven't put my skates on since before COVID. I don't think. Or no, I put them on once. I've been on one ODR last winter and that's it. But like since the start of COVID, when my rec league ended because of it, like I haven't had skates on.
Yeah, I haven't. That's why I went out. I was like, screw this. Like I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I haven't skated in like probably a year at least.
I'm dying right
now. I gotta.
My rec league in Moose Jaw.
Probably gonna go again today because it's actually not bad out. So
yeah, my rec league in Moose Jaw is going back on since I live in Saskatoon. Don't get to go for Sunday games, but I keep getting I'm still in the group text, so I'm still getting the text. And I'm like, fuck, I just want to be in Moose Jaw for one Sunday so I can go play some puck for a night and just get on the ice.
I'm sitting here watching Mortal Kombat, which was awesome, but.
Yeah. Well, when there's games being postponed left and right, you gotta watch what you gotta watch, I guess. Speaking of that, I went to Spiderman, like I mentioned, and I'm not gonna spoil anything because, I mean, if you haven't heard spoilers, you're better than a lot of people. But
that's why I don't follow like so many people on anything, so then I don't hear crap.
Yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. They did a lot of like stuff that was in the comics and stuff that I found really cool. I love that the action scenes were great. The villains were awesome. Like Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe were fantastic in it. The first half's a little slow. Second half is the best second half of a movie I've ever seen in my life. It is the most fan service. If you loved Spider-Man 2, not Spider-Man 2, like Spider-Man, as I did, is what I meant. You will absolutely adore the last half of this movie. It is unfucking real. Unreal. Post-credit scenes are awesome. They kind of set up a little bit of the future. Roller coaster of emotions, that movie though. Oh, 1 minute you're up like sad and crying, next minute you're like happy and excited, next minute you're like on your toes. It's awesome. It keeps you rolling with the movie the whole time. So highly recommend you all to see the casually best movie of the year, not talked about enough, but I'm gonna plug it one more time on our podcast. So no, go check out Spider-Man 3.
I hear.
So good.
No, they definitely need to make like one of these super epic movies every year. It's now like a standard. Hey,
yeah, every year or two.
Like, what was it?
Infinity War, Avengers, pretty much, but
Avengers,
the first Avengers,
or Endgame or whatever.
Endgame was the blow up one.
Once you make the super epic movie, like you actually have to do it. Like I know it's probably so much work to like make sure it's actually so good, but
they love it.
You have to do it. You have to do it now. We expect it. So.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, no, I'm stoked to watch that.
I'm so stoked, and I'm stoked to see Doctor Strange right after too in a couple months in March. So
yeah, that one looks pretty.
That one looks dope. They showed so if you want to see the teaser trailer for Doctor Strange, it's actually at the very very end of Spiderman, like the after all the credits. Because they haven't released it online yet. So it was really cool to get to see the teaser trailer of Doctor Strange, and it looks unreal. There's a lot of surprises in it that look really fun to see on the big screen. But no, that was my weekend. I mainly just raved about Spider-Man and didn't shut up about it for the past 3 days. So, but I did have to miss my Penguins game. Yeah, I had to miss my Penguins game on Friday. But
what was that? Which one was
Buffalo? Where Jeff Carter wins it in overtime. Yeah, I know. I was a little disappointed. It looked like a good game. I was happy to see Jeff Carter winning it in overtime.
Ukko Pekka Luukkonen, buddy.
Yeah, man, getting some games.
Dustin, but like sometimes like Ukko Pekka Luukkonen should be playing in the NHL. Hey,
wasn't Subban in that game? I thought Subban.
Was it Subban?
I think it was Subban actually because he made that crazy glove save behind his back against Rodriguez. It was a glove. It was his glove.
Fucking crazy.
We all thought it was a blocker. No,
it was a behind the back glove save.
And
Vasilevsky's playbook.
It literally, when people watched it at first, because I saw lots of clips on it where the broadcasters were like, "Oh my god, how did that not go in?" It was literally going full speed behind him, and it didn't go in. He didn't have anything blocking it. And then they slowed it down, and the tip of his glove, where the netting is on the outside, just barely gets it, and it flies out of the net. Like,
if you showed somebody Malcolm Subban highlights, you think he's like a top 3 goalie in the league.
Oh, that's okay. I bet if you showed like PK Subban, you think he's the best defenseman of all time. Like, both Subban brothers, or both of the 3, I guess, pretty good at hockey. Yeah. I've been waiting for Subban to find his home. I hope he can like stick in Buffalo as like a backup, like a long-term backup or something or whatever.
Yeah, there's got to be somewhere for him to like actually find his ground. One of these days,
he's a good enough goalie for the NHL. He just hasn't found his team. He might not have found his team yet. Is what my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
To, right? There's some goalies.
Super whole. He just never looked comfortable, never was able to find the groove.
But he'll have a couple games where he's just lights out. He looked all right in Vegas, but then they ended up getting Fleury and Leonard and didn't need him anymore.
Yeah, hey, you brought up Buffalo, and I just started thinking instantly of that Ukko Pekka Luukkonen because he's been just magnificent since he came in too. Like,
he was struggling in the AHL too. He was really struggling down low.
Yeah, exactly.
Statistically wise, I should say, the team
they
is
didn't
first.
Want to pull him up. Like that's why they were playing Dustin and stuff like that.
And Dustin,
I remember at the start of the year they were talking about playing him, but obviously he wasn't playing good or something like that.
I have a bone to pick with that. By the way, we have a bone to pick with Buffalo. I think not Buffalo. Buffalo's fine. It's the people talking about Buffalo, the analysts around it, saying Buffalo's a competitive team here and there. They just don't ever have goaltending. You guys are very wrong about that because Karski and Anderson, when they were playing, were absolutely unreal for this team. That's the reason they were winning games, was those two guys. And now they're both out, unfortunately. And now you can blame it on the goaltending. Their team's playing well.
Playing a lot better, and they're getting good goaltending, which is helping both of those. So it looks kind of weird. Hey, like
it does. I just wanted to.
A lot of the last little bit has been Ukko Pekka Luukkonen, and he came in and he looked solid.
Yeah,
they played great against Anaheim in his first game. Like that just gives you confidence right there. Like maybe this team had no confidence, which they probably didn't because they couldn't even help any goalie whatsoever. Hanging them out to dry
defensively, and Rasmus Dahlin's turned his season around real fast. Actually, he's points wise, he's actually producing. Defensively, he's still a turnstile, but that'll come hopefully with age. But this defense wasn't helping their goaltending off the start. And now they're starting to pick it up. I love Bryson. I think Jacob Bryson is fantastic on this team.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
I love him.
Trading to somebody like
yeah,
sweet.
I know.
Trade for him. They're gonna be like, no, I want him.
Is he's still playing Miller, right? They call him Miller.
I want to say he's been playing with Miller. I don't really know.
He started off.
How do you know who's playing with anybody anymore? Like, fuck, half the team's not playing most of the time. So
yeah, that's true. Well, okay. I'm saying
Joe Blow from the AHL.
Yeah, take away protocols, and if they're both healthy and playing, it should be Miller as his teammate, right? So that pairing is fantastic. I absolutely love it.
Oh man, if this team can get healthy and they got Touch, I believe Touch is coming back.
He's supposed to come back tonight, but he isn't anymore because the game is postponed.
What? No way.
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
Deadass.
I saw that
all over Twitter. Unfortunately, Elliot Friedman's been all over Twitter posting all these postponement games, which is just a fucking nightmare. I'm so sick.
Yeah, hey.
So annoyed of those
postponements. I was actually surprised
excited.
He was coming coming back this early.
I thought it was January was the numbers or the time frame I was hearing at least, but nope.
No, cool. Jacob Bryson right now playing with Casey Fitzgerald.
Yes, I have. He fought in that game. He is a 25-year-old prospect defenseman or something like that. 24.
Yeah, I've heard him a little bit. Yeah, I don't know how old he is.
24. He is 24. No, he's decent. Nice. 4th round pick, 3rd round pick.
Is he right-handed?
He is right-handed. Yep, 24 years of age, 5'11". 5'11". Oh, he looks way bigger than that. Well, he had a first career fight against Pittsburgh, so that was kind of cool.
Like a guy being 6'1" can look so big out there.
He's only 5'11".
Yeah, I know.
And he looks 6'1".
Like when it comes to size with some players, it's just so weird. Like a guy that's 6'1" can look just massive, but even a guy that's 6 feet or 6'1", he can also look really small out there. It's so
crazy how stature can really play a big role, right?
Yeah.
There's a guy with broad shoulders and just a big frame. You can be 6 foot out there and hit like you're 6'4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's players like Kevin Ball who are actually 6'6" and 250 pounds and are just an absolute mutant.
Well, you can tell those guys, because they're just skate weird.
They look like they could just spread their legs apart and go over top of everyone else. Back to the Buffalo and stuff like that quick. No, this team's playing awesome. I love Tage Thompson, how he's stepped up and done what they wanted him to do for 3 years now since that O'Reilly trade.
I've always liked him.
I liked him. He was the biggest piece of the O'Reilly trade.
He was going to need time. They knew that in St. Louis. They were like, this guy's not going to be good tomorrow or next year or the year after. It might take him some time to...
But we were expecting 22, 23 for him to maybe step in and be also, more.
And also, did we know what he was going to be? A middle 6, a bottom 6, a top 6. We still didn't have any idea.
At first, we thought he was going to be a top 6 guy, and then over a couple of years, we're like, oh, no, he's going to be a bottom 6 guy.
He's definitely a top 9 player, 100% now.
Yeah,
this guy's going to be able to play at least a scoring role in a third line.
At bare minimum.
Good for his, So, no, he's been, actually fantastic. I wonder what sort of minutes he's been getting here. I'll take a look. Old Tage
and then
of the Thompsons.
And then Dylan Cousins is just getting comfortable. He's starting to get more comfortable game in, game out, and I love to see that. He's starting to score. He's at a half a point a game too. So I love these young guys.
17 minutes.
That's a lot of minutes.
And 30 seconds for
second first line center. Second line center pretty much.
He's playing in that. He's part of that top 6. When you got a bad team, it's called you have a top 6 of players.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure
you can play over 15 minutes or something.
Yeah,
this is all we got.
And then, so was Dylan Cousins playing the most? I presume.
I'm just checking. I don't think so. I bet he's playing the same amount. I would assume. I don't think they'd be playing him 20. Hey, he's like.
Well, that's what I questioned. But I looked at their 20. Center ice, and I'm like, who are they? They're playing 15. He's playing 15, just over 15.
So he's played 17 in the last 3 games, and Tage Thompson has played 15 minutes in the last 3 games.
So he's probably playing top line right now for today.
playing top line minutes at least. Old Dylan
yeah,
Cousins
well,
right now. So
middle stats out.
continues.
I bet middle stats
Old
supposed to be their first line center. Or is it Aspen? No, Aspen's a winger. Who is there?
Well, Aspen was trying to be a centerman. It's
and then
he is, but he's not. He's a better winger.
He's a better winger.
It's definitely Mitch. Mitch is supposed to be a centerman, but he's just 4 games. Good time.
No, absolutely. But we love Buffalo.
Okposo dog. He has actually been so good. Like
he's been good this year. Pretty cool, eh? He's pretty decent this year.
Just coming out the
20 points. That's pretty good. Another player that like I know his contract sucks in comparison now, but like he's still a good player is Jeff Skinner. Like I see him every night do like 2 things where it's like that's a star player that just needs better players around him. Like Skinner's real good when he's got someone to pass him the puck. If he's got an elite passer of any sort, even a low tier elite passer, he's gonna be able to score 25 plus.
Yeah, he's got to get really good with his 200-foot game.
He is so bad defensively. So bad.
Like he's got to be very good all over the place because obviously you're not going to be the guy we all thought, and maybe even himself thought he would be. Like this guy was going to be a for sure fire, or
yeah, for
not
sure.
That he's not, and that he won't be able to. But let's temper our expectations on him ever getting close to 40 and 50 again.
Oh no! Like I mean, we knew this contract was bad the second you signed it. We knew they overpaid.
That's true.
We knew instantly. Jeff Skinner comes for 1 season of Buffalo, has a good season because he plays with Eichel. Yeah, congrats. Like if I stood in front of the net, I bet I could get 5 goals with Eichel, and I didn't even make it to the dub. Like I'm pretty sure I could get a decent amount of help if Eichel's healthy 82 games and I stand in front of the net. Not discrediting Jeff Skinner, but he's not $9 million, especially when Jack was 10. How did you justify that?
No doubt.
So for like Mitch, like the players like Mitch Marner being overpaid on wing and Patrick Kane or I shouldn't say overpaid, and like Ovechkin, like they're being paid as much as the centers because they legit turn games around.
Yeah, exactly.
They're banking over that money because of that, not because they scored 40 goals once.
Need Backstrom.
Yeah, exactly. No kidding.
I thought he needed Backstrom. Apparently not.
True. I'm just gonna quickly slide into a Penguins game last night against the Devils. I don't really have much to say except for thank God we have Bluger and Tristan Jarry because we should not have won that game. We were awful. And I'm okay with that we were awful because this is our 7th win in a row. So but that was a scheduled loss for the Devils and we played like shit because they had just came off a back-to-back. They were all over us the whole game. They broke our penalty killing streak, which I'm super upset about. We went like 30-some penalty kills in a row without someone scoring. Our penalty kill percentage, when I check, I don't know what it is since the last game or two, but last time I checked, it was 93%.
Jesus, hey?
Yeah.
Wow, hey? Yeah, I noticed they were one of the best. Actually,
they are one of the best PK teams of all time in the NHL. All time. Pittsburgh. They're up there in like the top 15 right now. And if they continue, this is insane, their PK. I haven't talked about it much because I didn't want to ruin the streak. So I didn't want to jinx it or anything. So I just shut up about it until then. But, oh man, they are unreal at penalty killing. I love it.
They're really built around it.
Yeah,
they sucked last year.
Yeah, they're super good teams that I remember. I was hoping or assuming they were going to have a good PK was the Flames. Flames are 3rd, so they've bounced back. I don't believe they were near that last year.
Pittsburgh is 92.1, so they dropped a little bit with the goal last night, but still
92.1.
That's insane.
That's so crazy. 90%.
Nobody has overhead 90% to finish a season. No, I believe. I think that's the stat. I think 89 is the highest in one season after a full season.
Holy crap.
Which was insane. But we, like I said, did not deserve to win that game. Marino had a bit of a down game. Not like awful where it's like we almost lost because of him. But like there's just a lot of like turnovers he gave that I wasn't too fond of.
Jari looked quite good.
Oh, he was brilliant.
At the end there.
Yeah, I heard people talking about it, and I know it's kind of irrelevant, and we'll get into the Olympics later, but if they were going to happen, he was probably the best Canadian goalie right now. The way he's playing.
He's certainly the most in form.
I think he's 10-1-1 in this past like 12 or something like that, or 10-0-1 or something like that. It's crazy, his stats since he's the slip at the start of the year. They've been unreal, Pittsburgh, so love it. They played this shit last night, but we got the win, so I can't complain. Let's move on to New Jersey for a second, because a player that I have shit on a lot in my life because he has never been up to his full potential, but yesterday I saw a little something in him that gives me hope, and Chase, you have mentioned him many times, Pavel Zacha. I've been very worried about this guy for many years now when he was drafted so high and really just couldn't get it done. He looks really good, actually. He looks a really good top. Yeah, he's a winger. Yeah. He is not a center.
A winger over a center.
Yeah, he's really comfortable on the puck, which I was very shocked to see. I was very shocked to see him comfortable on the puck because I didn't think he was as comfortable as he is on it. I just wasn't expecting it. But
yeah, no, he's definitely taken an actual step. Like we've seen it a decent amount last year. That was the first start of it, and he's really solidified himself as like an actual
legit top nine.
He'll be around. You know, he'll be playing hockey for the rest of his career because he is that good, and he'll be making an impact on that team. You know, like any team that he goes to. Yeah, definitely better as a winger. I always even before, like I thought he'd be a great third line center, maybe a second line center.
I was when he was drafted, I thought he was gonna be a second line center.
Yeah, hey, I never really knew he was drafted that high. I knew him a lot more before I even knew he was drafted super high. From what I remember, honestly, just it's nice to see him actually find it himself because this team needs that, especially with all these young guys. Like I was a little worried on Sharon Govich to start the year, and
he looked good
like these young guys are just it's tough to have a good full year. You know, sometimes it takes failing quite a bit.
Takes a couple games.
You know, the years of Zacha to get yourself underneath you to actually become that player. You know.
Absolutely. So, now, Sharon Govich is slightly different because he's a 5th round pick, but. No, he was great last night.
Doesn't matter what pick you are, you gotta be. You're just
you gotta try and make the NHL the same as if you're first overall or 290th or whatever.
I can piggyback on the old Devils here because I wanted to talk about them and their Wings game because
cool.
Like to me, when I watched them, they don't have that spunk that they had.
They don't. It's not the same. But no, it's crazy. They look so much more structured than they did. They look structured well. Last night's game against Pittsburgh, they lost that because just unfortunately had to call up John Gillies, who had to play. And
he looked pretty good.
He looked all right, but there was 2 goals that went in that were a little like, not great, but oh well.
Yeah,
as Devils fans, and I shouldn't even say, I guess, like most of the goals Pittsburgh scored were slight mistakes by Devils, but other than that, they were fantastic.
I guess, like what I'm getting at is that like their 5-hour energy drink they hit before the start of the season.
It's on the last 5 minutes. Yeah, yeah.
Like
it's definitely
ever since Hughes got back, man. They're 1-8-1.
Yeah, that's
I
bad.
guess 1-9-1 because they lost to the Pens last night. Sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty poor.
So that's no fun. But like
he's also not.
They have
right
players that are starting to find themselves. As that just found himself.
Jesper Bratt and Janssen.
Marian Studnik. He actually
was so good.
I think he's for surely on this team now.
Yep,
I was hoping for him at the start of the year. I thought he'd get some good playing time, and he's literally taking. Well, the reason Sharon Govich didn't play for a few games and stuff like that is because of him.
Yeah, he is unreal. Great. He's so fast for a bigger guy. Yeah. He throws the body. He's always on the puck. Always wants to be on the puck, which I love. Defensively,
I just love the effort he gives. Right, like you're saying, I love that. Even though he's a guy who's comfortable on the puck or off of it, he's still not afraid to go out there and absolutely level someone.
Yeah, he's awesome. I loved watching him play yesterday. Yeah. Like he was he was playing with Mercer last night, and I don't remember who else was on that line, and those two, holy shit. I was like terrified when they were coming down because either one of them was just flying through the zone. We shot them down very well, but oh boy, they were really good. But I do want to talk about Kevin Ball on this team. Sorry, Chase, I know we're kind of cutting in before your Devils game or your Red Wings Devils game, but Kevin Ball last night, he played with Dougie Hamilton on the first line. And this is, if you recognize Kevin Ball's name, it's because he was the big piece brought back in the Taylor Hall trade to Arizona. And
indeed,
he looked terrifying out there. Like I mentioned, this guy is fucking huge. He is 6'6", 21 years old, 215 pounds, second round pick. He was everywhere. He pinches really well. He's a really smart player. But I can already tell with his big body, he's gonna be one of those friendly giant guys in a way. He does not throw his body a lot. And it looks like he's about to, but then he just goes for the puck. So once
that new Tyler Myers.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't go too much into Tyler Myers, because that would be a real upsetting thing to see with him. Because I really liked how he played. He did a lot of things right, but with his size, I hope he hits more in other Devils games, because he didn't last night, that's for sure. But
no, he just didn't want to. He took the hitting night off because he didn't want to give Crosby a concussion.
I guess so. I guess so. But what do you got for your Wings Devils game there? Is that the
that's where that line was doing so good, dog. Mercer, Studnik, and that. Yes, for Bratz on that line.
Bratz on the line? Yeah. Bratz good too. He's so fast.
Talk about speed.
He has some of the best edges.
That would be so fast.
Yeah, he is some of the best edges I've ever seen in the NHL. He skates so well. He's so good at picking up speed from nothing.
Did you notice Tatar? I haven't noticed Tatar.
I noticed him once when they said, "Oh, the longtime Red Wing Thomas Tatar." I'm like, "Oh shit, he forgot he's a Devil." He's not been that noticeable, unfortunately.
Maybe he'll
not lately.
Maybe he's switching up. He's only going to show up in the playoffs
because he doesn't play.
But let's go to
shows up in the press box.
Go to his ex-team here, the Wings, who played the Devils. It was Hattie time for Larkin.
Yeah, man. He's having a fucking
career hat trick. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. That's insane.
That. Every time I hear that this year, I just don't believe him. First career hat trick. Nope.
No way. He must have had so many 2-goal games in his first season or two. Like, Jesus Christ.
1,000 2-goal games, I guess.
Like his first season, he scored 23 goals. How do you not get a hat trick in there?
Yeah, no, this
they were a playoff team too.
Oh boy, this guy he's stepping up. Kyle Kulo gets the old assist, pulls him up because of all that COVID
nice.
Stuff, and gets the assist on Larkin's third. So it's pretty cool. Nice to see him. Never thought he would actually be playing in the NHL.
The top line is just wicked on Detroit right now. The Bertuzzi, Larkin, Raymond line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, makes me super happy I got Raymond there, Chase.
Yeah, no doubt. Gotta give him back. Oh, whatever. He only got 1 point, I think, in that game.
That's okay. He wasn't in my lineup that week anyways. He can start scoring next week.
But yeah, no, I gotta bring up Larkin's first goal. Man, Hronek, just the grossest dump pass to him. He was behind his own blue line. At the dot on the right side, and just saw Larkin ripping up and just shot it right at the corner. Bounced right off, went right to Larkin, and I think the goalie thought it was going to wrap around the board, so he popped out and left the net wide open. But just I watched the replay again, I was just like, yeah, Hronek literally looked up and he was like, yeah, I'm doing this, and shot it down the ice off the corner boards, popped right out to him, and in the net. It was pretty awesome.
I love that.
Hronek looked real good. That was nice to see. Other than that,
are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with Hronek being your number 2 guy for the next 5 to 8 years? Would you be comfortable with that?
our right side that we have, I want that to be our right side for the next
10 years or
5 10 years.
5 to 10 years.
I would actually be okay with it being those guys.
Yeah,
I'd be very okay
I was just curious because I think Hronik's good enough to be on that second line too. I just wanted to see if a legit
I think he's perfect for that, especially
so do I.
Of the guys that are around him, like having a Mo and
he had the experience on the top pair, so he knows how to play against the best guys at worst case. And now he's going to get to play against some, I don't want to say lesser tier opponents, but definitely second line, third lines more than first.
Yeah, more of his group, and he's not number
less,
one guy.
Less McDavid and McKinnon, and more like more Backstrom and Malkin or something. Kusi and
no shit. But yeah, no, love this COVID stuff because you get to play backups all the time. Oh man, do we get backups and third goalies? It's great.
Yeah,
who is Schmid? Schmid is my wife, hey?
You guys are gonna make playoffs. Teams are gonna make playoffs because of this protocol stuff. Like these goalies coming in is crazy.
Yeah, that's actually pretty true. Like, I wonder if we
Pittsburgh won last night too.
Now, who's in the playoffs?
If we shut down today, who's in playoffs? Well, I have the standings right in front of me. So wild card would be East. It's okay. So Metro goes Carolina.
Division-wise.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna do division. I'm gonna go Metro from first to third. Carolina, Washington, New York, Atlantic, Tampa, Toronto, Florida. Wild card 1 and 2, Pittsburgh, and the Detroit Red Wings.
It would be Boston because they would go with
percentage, I guess, if it's points percentage. Oh, sorry, it's Boston, but points wise, it's Detroit. But they're also 5 games in hand. In the West, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis. In the Central Pacific is Vegas, Anaheim, Vegas, Calgary, Anaheim, technically. And Colorado would also be in the, because of these points percentage, it's all like fucked up. But Edmonton and Colorado, Vegas, Anaheim, Calgary, Minnesota, Nashville, St. Louis, those are the West teams that make it. I'm sure Colorodo's, I don't know.
Yeah, Colorado would be second.
They should be second in the Central, but because they haven't played enough. So,
but they just went by points percentage, so that's probably what they would do again. So we'd be looking at... what's Winnipeg 550? Yeah, they'd be out. Hey, Winnipeg not even in the playoffs.
It's crazy.
Got Dallas out.
Yeah, the big teams out are Winnipeg, Dallas, Chicago. Yeah, in the West, and then obviously Boston, Philadelphia. I guess
Detroit would
Detroit. Sorry, Detroit. I'm gonna say Boston anyways because I don't think they'll make it. I think Detroit's going to make it over them, or Columbus.
Yeah, I do.
I genuinely think an upsetting team.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it would.
No. I know what you're saying. If it ends today, Boston would be in, but I still don't think they're going to make it, even though they're in today. Nope.
I
don't trust this team.
My own team, sadly, but that's right now, and I don't know what sort of approach we're going to take in the next whatever for trading wise or direction or how Stevie wants to do this because I think we're in a real good situation. Like I brought up about Evander Kane, not that I love the situation of getting him or anything like that, having that sort of person on the team, but why not take advantage of getting somebody who's good or getting cheap things that won't cost you, things that you won't need or something like that.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to spend that sort of stuff right now. And in all reality, we should probably go with the prospect group we have and wait a few years and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's my
actually
only,
try to win.
It's just the fear of Evander Kane is like, if you get stuck with him, you're fucked. Like if he's a cancer in Detroit, you're screwed because no team's taking him after that chance. Yeah. Like you gave him the opportunity.
Exactly.
No team's giving him another one. Like,
don't dwell on the Evander Kane. Just it could be anybody.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean. I can't help.
Like take a Sanko because it's not going to cost you anything because his salary cap's high and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, we'll give you Nick Leddy or something like that because we don't care,
Right.
And we'll take Sanko or something. So
that would help the Blues a lot, actually. I believe, or it could. He could play with Parayko.
I think I just made a trade accidentally.
Leddy for Sanko. Leddy for Sanko. No money retained. Either way, makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you want to get him for even cheaper, you could retain Letty and maybe even get a pick.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. So no, like I think we're in a perfect position, especially with the team we're playing. I think it'd be kind of dumb not to make a sort of buying move at the cheapest cost.
Yeah, if you're not gonna pay a prospect or a pick that is above, I would give up a 3rd round pick at the earliest if I'm Detroit. I wouldn't give up a 2nd or a 1st because I think that's a waste of a year. I would stay away from picks, but that's why I said at highest a 3rd.
Guys I know and like prospects and stuff that I'm just like, reality, he's probably gonna need somewhere else to go. Like, say we have a good right-handed upcoming.
I just don't know if you guys have any.
We could probably let him go because of the 3 we have right now, at least, sort of thing. Like, I think we can make a sort of decision like that won't impact or really anything in our reality.
You could, because we have for sure
on like Nick Letty and stuff, guys that we're already okay with not having anymore. Or stuff like that. Like, we could trade a Mark Stahl and a Nick Letty and then use that shit to go grab whoever, hey, and that didn't cost us anything, like that. That's where I think we should go, because we don't need to get more prospects right now. I think we can grow with this team, and this team's proving to us that they're good. So why not be like, hey guys, you're good job. Like,
I don't. It depends on which prospect you're talking about getting rid of, but I'm very cautious.
It wouldn't be exactly. Hey, it wouldn't be anybody crazy. It'd be somebody wouldn't. Like I said,
like what's the highest?
Get squeezed out of the plans.
What is your highest prospect you're giving up though? Like, is it like?
Well,
is it Vero?
Like
is it It's Berggren you're talking?
Like, those guys are kind of options, but we have lots of guys in that sort of echelon of guys. Like, even though William Wallander, like, there's a lot of guys that are.
Yeah,
he's a little new.
He's pretty new. He's 2 years ago.
Vero's I'd be looking more at like your 22, 23-ish. Age guys.
Fair enough. My only fear of Berggren is, like, unless you're getting a guy that's sticking for a bit, like, I mean, Tarasenko would be there for 2 years, so it wouldn't be that bad of a deal at all. And worst case, you could trade him next year if you suck. So for a 50% retain, like, there's an option. Like, Senko, I'm comfortable with, but if it's like pretty much anyone else, I don't think I'd trade Jonathan Berggren, because he's 21, 2nd round. Is he a late first or an early 2nd? Early 2nd, real early 2nd. Yeah. That's young to risk. Giving him up, so
don't get the wrong impression that I'm
no.
Trade, like, I know any of these prospects, but there's definitely a couple that I'm sure I could make a deal, like a throw-in type. Like I said, with the guys that we're already probably going to shed at the deadline, or we're planning on shedding at the deadline. Like, I don't see why we can't just use that to go grab something that can help us anyways.
And my thought is, like, if you give up a pick because you have so many. Like, you've only given up 1 pick this year, and you have 3 extra ones from other teams, 2 fourths and a 2nd. So if you did give up a 3rd, one of those 4ths, 5th, and a 4th, like, whatever, for someone decent, then I don't think it's that bad of a deal. Because, I mean, draft picks are magic beans. That's all they are. They're literally just shots in the dark. Like, shooting fish on a barrel is all they are. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we did with Nick Letty. Hey.
Yeah. Which, you'll be able to get
2nd round pick and gave it to somebody else that we already got, just so that we could have. So.
And you'll be able to get something else.
Maybe we'll do something like that again.
Yeah, I never know. Can we slide back over to Boston for a second? Because we kind of mentioned them, and I do want to bring them up. Because I brought up I don't think they're going to make playoffs, and I heard Jordan agree with me there. So I want to kind of explain why. Because I know a lot of people are going to be like, what the fuck? I think I've said it a lot of times, it's a one-line team, but I want to go deeper into that then instead. And Jordan, if you want to piggyback with me, that would be great.
Yeah.
I genuinely, name me one player. Okay, I shouldn't say one, there's probably one, but name me two prospects that you genuinely think could potentially have any form of potential to take over for Bergeron if he leaves this year. And this is kind of like forward thinking, more or less. There's one name I can think of, and that's why I bring it up in the near future, and that's Danica. I don't think Studnicka's ever going to be close to what Bergeron is, though. And that's the only one that has the near potential to be a number one center for this team in the future. What they're lacking is center depth behind Bergeron. Studnicka's not even good enough now to do it. They have nothing after the first line. That is a playoff team, is what I'm saying. I don't think Coyle is at all good enough. I think he's a third line guy his whole career. I think Nick Foligno is a third line guy. He's aging. Eric Howlett's not looked great in Boston. And Taylor Hall is your only other second line guy I haven't listed. That terrifies me. If I'm a Boston fan, I just listed 3 guys and Jake DeBrusk, who's going to be traded. I listed 3 guys there who are supposed to, 2 of them are supposed to be, 2 of the 3 are supposed to be in the top, their second line. Not good enough. This team is not good enough. They have Charlie McAvoy and the first line. That is pretty well it. Their goaltending is not awful. And I'm not saying this team's going to be last in the East, so I'd calm down a little bit. They're not going to miss by a lot, but they're going to miss. This decor is okay. Doesn't scare me. Doesn't scare me at all anymore, except for McAvoy. Carlo's injured all time, so he's pretty irrelevant. Matt Grzelcyk doesn't look like the same player he has in the past. Forbert's Forbert. He's a good defenseman, but he's pretty one-dimensional. And Mike Riley is also solid, but not great.
Well, and they also have Jakub Zboril, right? They've got a pretty loaded left side, but nobody really good.
And I think Zaboril's pretty poor for an NHL quality guy.
Agree.
Now, I wanted to talk about this because everyone's bringing it up, and I think we brought it up definitely too. 2015 ruined this team, that draft, where they had 3 in a row. Can you guys name the 3 players who were drafted in 2015, one after another after another? Because I
Zach Senyenson,
Zach Senyen, yep.
DeBrusk
and Zboril, exactly. DeBrusk was your only hope, and he is leaving. I don't think they're going to get an amazing return that they want and win this trade, unless they somehow make a miracle move that they can sometimes do. But I genuinely don't think it's possible to win a Jake DeBrusk trade for them, at least today. This team doesn't scare me anymore, and that's Boston's identity. Is to scare you when you look at them. Yeah, like Marchand, Pasternak, and Bergeron all still scare me. Guess what? You can't put them on the ice for 60 minutes at a time. And no one else on this team, except for McAvoy, scares me one bit.
Yeah, they're definitely in a position to, like, they do need to make a move. It's all glaringly obvious. They need to make some sort of move. A guy I was actually looking at with some of the have you heard, like, they were talking about Chychrun possibly being up for grabs here?
I heard that. I'll get into that in a second, because I talked about Chychrun being traded way earlier, and I have a statement on why. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, like, we'll get into that later, because I want to talk about that with trade talk, because I think this could be a spot, like, they need to make a big move like that or something, you know, like, they gotta make something happen here, because it's just, you know, you're not wrong about the whole left side. It's exactly what's going on. It's just a bunch of guys being mediocre. You know, you need something else. You need a little bit extra push on that left side. I think there's an easy deal to be made with Zona for a guy like that. I think they should go hard on something like that, or maybe they go hard for a centerman and kind of get that out of the way now. And I don't know, the defense has been playing good, decently, so maybe you can kind of.
It's not been
like
bad.
Like
it's just not scary. It's just that's my thing. Exactly. Like playoff wise, like I look at that and I'm like, we'll be able to break that down. As a Pittsburgh fan, I look at Boston this year, and if we played them in first round, I know they have the experience, but like I look at them, I'm like, we can beat this team easily.
Yeah.
Like last year, I thought Washington should have beat Boston. Like Boston they played very well. But I think the way Washington played, they were better. And they just couldn't get out. It was the same as Pittsburgh Islanders. Like, 2 teams that outplayed their team. They just couldn't get it in. Didn't help that Mantha hit the crossbar 8 times, but, like, still. It's
maybe 4.
Yeah. And this team, like, is way less scary than last year.
Yeah, definitely. Like the whole DeBrusque thing's been going on for way too long to me. I
Far
thought
too long.
he should have been moved a year ago at least.
Yes.
These guys need to. I think that's the biggest problem is he's still there. Like this guy's. I
That's
think
an issue.
They needed to move on. Like they need a fresh start in their bottom 9 here. I guess you could say because he's been trying to get on the first line or something like that.
He should be playing the first line or the second line the way they've been playing. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, exactly.
But the problem is like I don't want to like go out and say Cassidy hates DeBrusque, but it's blatantly obvious that DeBrusque isn't his favorite player and that he doesn't work under Cassidy, which is unfortunate because I think Jake DeBrusque is a very talented goal scorer. He's done it before, and I don't see why he couldn't do it again. He's only 25. He's not been really given a fair enough shake at times, and he's at certain times has not been fair enough shake, and then there's certain times where it's been welly deserved. Yeah. One of the big comments they said, sorry, I just got one more thing on DeBrusque. One of the comments Cassie said is, I haven't seen him score the goals I want him to score, which is net front, since his second year. That is not something you want to hear from your head coach.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, really rough. Hey, and that's got to be tough on the mental aspect of Jake DeBrusque, being like, okay, I scored a lot of important goals in some playoffs recently. Like, I had some good games here and there, and you're saying the only time you can remember me being effective is my second year? How is that going to screw with guys that, so I've been doing this wrong for 4 years now, and you didn't think to just tell me? Like, I bet he has. Like, I don't want to assume he hasn't because that's a coach's job. But come on, like that's something you say where you know the marriage is over.
Yeah, exactly.
Papers have already been filed. Like
should have been dealt with for sure. And there was like you're looking for guys like Holla and Foligno, and they're not there, man.
They're not there. They've not been there at all. And I thought Foligno was going to be fantastic on this team. I thought Foligno was a Bruin. I was like, oh, this is going to help. They're not as good, but this will help with identity, is Foligno. And he just hasn't, unfortunately. Like, I love Nick Foligno. And another big name to bring up out of the like, to me, the keyest reasons why they look so disappointing and why you and several people are saying this sort of stuff about this team. It's Hall, it's Foligno, and it's Trent Frederick. What happened to you, Frederick? Because you're way better than 3 assists in 18 games. I know that you're unless like 10 minutes of ice time, man. Like I think another mistake.
Play a lot more. Like, are we talking? Yeah, are we talking the coach is the reason things aren't going well and stuff like that? Like,
and I love just Cassidy.
Moving DeBrusque the answer. Like, probably.
You're going to move DeBrusque. At this point. Yeah, you're going to move DeBrusque and see how it goes. I think that's your first move if you're Don Sweeney. But after that, you got to seriously look at... Yeah, Stanika's not been good enough.
Just not there in 5 games.
And Coyle,
nobody's stepping up this
year. Yeah, I like Coyle as a player. I like what he brings. He's a bigger body. He can play center. I think he's an awesome third-line center.
Yeah,
they gotta stop.
The ideal
third line center.
You gotta stop treating him, expecting him to do more. I'm not saying that he's not been bad. He's been bad on the second line. He's just not good enough for the type of team they want to be.
It would have been fine if you got anything out of your bottom 6. Like they've got
that would help.
We were just talking. They've gotten absolutely nothing out of their bottom 6. Yeah. If their third line with Foligno and Holla and say DeBrusque, whoever, who cares? If that was actually going and producing, you
wouldn't be as upset about the second line.
How mad would you be about Coyle? Exactly.
Yeah, not as upset because he's effective. He's very effective. Is he slightly overpaid? Absolutely. I think he's more of a $4 million player than a 5.
But they pay him to win faceoffs and they pay him to play defense,
and he's good at those two things.
They see that as a very important thing, and they
absolutely.
Pay for that. So
but this team has always been successful with having Bergeron, Krejci as your 1-2. To any line can score. Your top 6, any of your top 6 guys can score. They don't have that anymore.
Right? Like those two guys just complement each other and what they offer, right?
Yep.
Obviously, we all know how good defensively Patrice Bergeron is. His game is unreal.
Arguably the best defensive center ever.
Yeah, probably ever. But Krejci offered so much in the terms of his vision and his passing ability. Like he saw things that so many people don't see normally, right?
Yeah, he was just as important in that team as Bergeron. Equally as important.
One thing was the dynamic with those two was so perfect was the point dynamic. Like one of them was doing something, you know.
And Krejci, the best thing about Krejci is he could do it on his own.
They not have been getting 70 points or a whole bunch of points every game. Like these two weren't always getting points every game, but one of them was. That's what made them so good. Is that you had to worry about one of those two guys getting a point. Like their line was going to get a point. One of those two lines was getting at least a goal or two that game.
Right.
We won't. You don't know who it is probably, but and if they both show up, you're losing the game.
Yeah, yeah, Frank. Absolutely. So, and it's just Krejci, the way he created on his own and made Craig Smith better, like Miles better. Like, look how good Hall looked with him.
Taylor Hall look.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like Taylor Hall is still a good player. I think.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah, it's. I don't want to be like too unfair to him that his line's really struggling in what they should be doing. Like. They're getting around the same points, around 15 points, that whole line in 25 games. It's not awful. It's just not good enough for this team. This team is so bang average to me. So average. Like, for a team that identifies themselves as a playoff contender. It's hard for me to view them anymore that way. And their goaltending's been fine. I don't think it's been good enough either in the points. Like it a lot's gonna have to change for me to change my views.
It's looking a lot better, but
I'm waiting for the next fall off. Yeah, is the issue.
They need they need to make that move. They need to make a move to get them going, or else they're probably just gonna dissipate and have an off year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of give up on this team now. Like being playoffs, I just don't trust this team. I do not trust this team anymore.
The only reason I fully trust this team to make the playoffs is basically the fact that I believe their management will do something or find a way to make this kind of turn around at least for this year.
I'm willing. Yeah, I'm definitely willing to be proven wrong. Yeah, I'm willing to be proven wrong. If they make a right move.
This isn't a terrible time to do the opposite of what I'm saying, though. This might be the best time to do the opposite of what I'm saying and trade your DeBrusque for whatever picks you're going to get. And
then flip those picks for something if you do find
and like a year when somebody exactly, or maybe you got to be a little patient for a year
or you rebuild and you start your rebuild with that too. That's a possibility.
Like that's what I'm saying, like maybe you do the opposite of trying to make sure you get to the playoffs and kind of almost make sure you're not going to get to the playoffs, just so then you can kind of do a little reset and build off of hey, you guys got to prove it now, because we're not even,
absolutely.
You want to be here? We're aiming for in a year or two to win the Stanley Cup or get really back into the thick of things.
Absolutely.
Not right now.
And that's definitely a possibility.
How much shelf life do you got for Bergeron here?
It could be this year.
36.
Could be half of a year. Could be literally half a year, and he could be done playing hockey or just in Boston. Frankly, this is a possibility.
Player, you go for it this year, then I guess.
That's where the argument is, right? Like Bergeron's almost done. Marchand's getting up there. Like, what is he? 33? Marchand 32. Marchand's 33. So he's getting up there too. I know he's got a 4-year contract, and it's probably going to be good in the whole contract. At least the top 6 guy throughout that rest of the contract. But no, I think, maybe you go for it this year. Do what you can. And if you have to go into a full rebuild in a couple of years, like in 2, 3 years, 4 years, then you do it. You do it if you have to. Make sure you fully do it properly.
Yeah, hey.
So, let's move on to another team. You mentioned Dallas, didn't you, Chase? You wanted to bring them up.
Yeah, hey.
What do you got on the Dallas Stars? The best. I had a great analogy for them earlier.
The best worst team.
The best worst team I've ever seen. No, not ever, but this team is like so like they're gonna do it. They're like, oh, you guys suck. Oh, they're gonna do it. Ah, fuck, you suck.
They're kind of like the West Flyers now.
Oh yeah, like no kidding. Hey,
not sure what to get out of these.
The way they trend.
Oh, it's brutal. Exactly. But so let's talk about the last 14 games, about the last month, 30 days or so.
Back when we said this team better turn it around, and what did they do?
Yeah, they actually
did it.
They did, and then they didn't.
And then they dropped. They carried the ball. They carried the ball 19 steps out of 20, and then dropped it, and then dropped it all the way down.
Yeah, picked up the medicine ball, ran about 20 feet, and just straight dropped it.
It's like those strongmen competitions, you know, those ones where they pick up those big boulders and put them on like the table or whatever. Yeah. It's that. They have it up, and then they drop it and break their toe.
Yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, I got that up. Okay. Oh no.
Oh shit, broke my foot. I gotta forfeit.
But yeah, so we're talking about the picking that stone up, and the guys picking that stone up. We all know who that is. Robertson and Pavelski have clearly led this team in points. And let's get deep into that. Clipping at like basically a point per game. Robertson with 7 goals, 7 assists, couple power play Genos. Bay Hines, 8 goals, 7 assists, 4 power play assists, 2 shorthanded goals. That's all in just 14 games. And I believe he got like 3 or 4 assists that one last game that he played. Like it was.
He's unreal. I love.
It was crazy.
I love Rube.
And then Pavelski chilling with 7 goals, 10 assists, 3 power play goals, and 2 of those power play goals coming that last game. So that's clearly the team right now. Power play percentage.
Shades of Boston. Like, one line.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Power play percentage is 5th in the league at 25%, so that's still staying good. And the reasons to that are Jamie Benn and John Klingberg would be the other reasons, other than obviously the 3 guys carrying this team.
Klingberg scored his first goal of the season the other night in overtime.
He gets his first goal of the year, a power play goal, game-winning goal.
Love it. So, I hope that can spark him.
So yeah, good for him. He's been playing pretty decent lately. Basically,
he's starting to pick it up.
After Heiskanen's hot start with 3 goals, 10 assists in the first 15 games, Heiskanen has no points in the last 7 games.
Really? Ouch.
And 3 apples in the last 11 games. So the 4 games before that, he got 3 apples at least.
It's just past 7 he's struggling.
Yeah, the past 7, nothing. Klingberg has taken over, and honestly, I've had this guy in fantasy the last couple of years, and this is a trend. These guys flip back and forth.
Yes.
I think it's why you need to trade Klingberg, because this happens all the time. You're never going to have a consistent Heiskanen because Klingberg's literally going to steal the show half the time. And I don't know why, but it's a fact. You can almost stamp it.
Yeah, they're both too good at the same thing.
Yeah.
Points.
Only one of them can really get going at a time. You gotta. Yeah, I don't know. But whatever. It is what it is with those 2 guys. We'll bring it up in the trade talk because I got a few spots or some thoughts about where Klingberg could maybe go and what they could maybe do there.
For sure.
But let's talk about not getting going and not wanting to talk about it, and that's Tyler Sagan. In the last 12 games, 6 of those games, Tyler Sagan has played 15 minutes or under.
Ooh.
1 game was 12 minutes and 10 seconds.
Holy shit, that's not enough.
That's just not enough. What the hell?
Also,
I also want to point out,
that's 7 in that 12 game span.
It's also
this
worth
guy
noting
needs a fucking Christmas break or something, or hockey rehab.
It's worth noting that the whole Dallas I can't remember who in Dallas said it, but they blamed Sagan for their scoring woes. How are you blaming a guy who just came off of surgery and has to regenerate his muscles.
Well, he's not scoring.
Your team can't score other than one line. Why are you putting it on Sagan? He's not had a great year.
Getting Crosby back from fucking injury.
That is
everybody being like.
That's exactly it.
Crosby's not scoring. What the fuck?
That is exactly in let's say a month's time, because that's roughly when Malkin's coming back. Let's say 2 months from now. Then he's on the ice for a month playing. Let's say he's got 5 points in like 15 games or something, and Pittsburgh is, let's say, 5-10. Or whatever, and not, or like probably gotta be worse than that to blame him. But and then the fans just start going, it's because Malkin sucks. It's like he wasn't fucking there and you did fine. Like, yeah, like calm down with Sagan. I get it. I truly get it.
Yeah,
you need him to be better. He does need to get better. It's still early enough for superstars to kind of snap their head out.
It is early enough. He's on a 20-goal pace, so we're not talking.
How are you upset? How are you upset, Dallas? Oh my god, I hate this team.
you can turn that around, especially after
Easily.
like we're talking a whole surgery and stuff like that. Like this is clearly just not going to be. We were hoping for a full year out of him. You're not getting a full year, but you better get a half a year out of this guy, and that's what I wanted to bring up, because this is fucking brutal, dude. Like you're playing, I don't know if it's the coach or what's going on, but I know you're better than this, and you can play more minutes than that, and you're not proving you can play more minutes than that.
Yeah,
so
it's
get the hell going. Like I said, you need a Christmas break or hockey rehab or something. Figure it out, man, because this is not good enough. Trade him is all I'm saying. At this point, if you're going to continue like this, trade him, because he is not helping your team. You could get anybody else.
Oh, that's so premature.
Third line center. Yeah, but he has not been helping them production wise for like quite a while.
Doesn't matter.
He's been injured and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, if this like continues, man, if you just continue to do this for another year, like, what do you get out of here?
Yeah, but you can't give him a year of surgery and then back the next year and be like, yep, you got to be exactly what you were when you were before. And like, we expect it. I think that's so unfair. Yeah. That's like saying to Dylan Larkin, if he wasn't having the season he's having this year, and let's say he's having more of one like last year, if you're saying, oh, fuck Dylan Larkin, he's never going to be good, trade him away, he's the worst. Like, I think that's so, like, I know you're saying it as a joke. I can hear that you're like saying, trade him. I agree, he needs to be better. Give it a break. Dallas fans, like, pump your brakes. Chill. You guys are struggling. You guys might have a bad season. If that happens again, you're going to see a lot of turnaround, and I think you're going to see a new coach, actually. I think they're just going to feel like a change of scenery is in it. Chill with Sagan. He's 29. He's not 35. People are acting like he's 35 and washed up. Is he probably going to be the Sagan he was when he was like, 25, 26, when he was scoring, 30 goals and 70 points-ish? 80 points? No, he's probably not going to be that. If he can get 60 points a year and get 25 plus 30, like 25-ish goals and some 10, 15 power play, can't be mad. Can't be mad at what he's bringing. I think he'll...
For doing that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So... Oh,
no doubt.
Pump the brakes. Yeah. Sorry, continue though with Dallas.
No, that's about all I got with Dallas. It's just we can get into some trade talk.
I would like
that way with
to stick,
or we can do that later.
Let's push it a little tiny bit later, because I just want to stick on Dallas for a second. You guys see the Tanner Caro being hit by Connolly?
Oh yeah, that was Oh yeah.
Jordan, did you see it by any chance?
No, I didn't see that one.
Okay, go on Discord. I have it ready for you here. Just let me pull it up real quick. There we go.
That was just terrible. Like, what are you doing?
You guys are only going to hear the audio if you're listening on Spotify and everything, so unfortunately, but I'm going to play quickly the audio of the hits so Jordan can see it.
Yeah.
Big hit as Connolly stepped in. He never saw it coming.
Yeah.
I
don't want to watch him being stretchered off, because I don't think I would like to see
throw
the hit one more time on a better angle. So here you go. Not looking.
Connolly came in and he
puck rolling along the
pass. The puck was 2 feet away from him. Completely no chance he's getting that puck rung around the boards. That is
That's almost a suicide pass to me, right? Like, I think that's got to be the defender's fault.
That's Connolly's fault.
No,
that's Connolly's fault. That is the most blatant interference. He is nowhere near the puck.
Yeah.
Like, the defender knows he's coming to make that hit. That's why he rings it.
Oh, God, yeah. He was staring him down the whole time.
Connolly, and we have clarification for it, Brett Connolly was suspended 4 games for this hit. I just want to show Jordan, make sure we all had it in front of us.
No, that was just
that was an awful hit. Awful.
Like, it was going around the boards, like, or
unnecessary.
Around the glass even. Like, we don't even, like, the guy's not even going to play the puck, and he wasn't playing the puck.
He wasn't even fucking looking. God.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand why. Like, what was that, Connolly? What was that?
Absolutely. That is a bullshit hit. 4 games, fully deserved. I get people have slip-ups in their games like this all the time, so I don't want to shit on Connolly too much, because I don't think he's done a lot of terrible stuff, but I do know he likes to throw these big hits along with people heads down. No, it's just, you can't have that. You can't have that in your game.
Like, if you guys really want, if anybody thinks this is a legal hit, at least if you want that to be a legal hit, at least don't fucking kill the guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not looking. You could just push him down if you wanted to. You could,
absolutely,
go 50% on that. Like,
definitely go. Take the 2-minute penalty. You're already in stride. You know you're going to get it. You're going to take 2-minute penalty. That's fine. Just give him a nice cross check and knock him on.
I'll make that a legal hit if you can find a way to not hurt that guy.
Absolutely. If you can lower it to try and avoid it and you still get a penalty and nobody's hurt, I'm cool. Like, you tried your best. But after the game, Joe Pavelski came and talked to the media about it, and he was really shooken up. If you remember back in 2019, he had a really traumatizing injury in the playoffs against Vegas when he was still with the Sharks, and he kind of reflects on that. So I'm going to quickly play that clip of Joe Pavelski kind of talking about the injury to Tanner Kero after an ad.
Well, yeah.
Wouldn't be right if it wasn't an ad with it, right? So I'll just wait for that to go through in 3 more seconds here.
It's terrible. I've been there before.
Holy shit.
My teammates rallied around me that night. You know, there's flashes back there. I don't know. He's awesome. He's soft-spoken, but he works hard. You know, he doesn't miss a day. When he gets called on to play, he shows up, he makes great plays, he plays hard, he's a great teammate. It's just, we've heard he's doing all right, you know. So that win's definitely for him, but, you know, you just say a prayer for a speedy recovery. It sucks.
Yeah, so that's Joe Pavelski, obviously, talking about his reflecting on his experience in 2019 too, and you see how much that shook him up. This was obviously a very emotional hit for this team. Very emotional hit. They all seem to have taken this, like we saw with Joe Pavelski. Like, that's intense.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly looked genuinely worried, right?
So worried. Like, so panicked about, understandably, like, you would be. Like, if I saw one of you guys getting hit like that, I'd be freaking out too. Like,
anyone, right?
Anyone, it's just
fucking hammer.
Yeah, it was a big hit.
One of the. I don't like thinking about the old times. Like, I remember one of my brother's games I was at. Even a guy he probably got hit from behind from, like, it was like the dot or something like that far away from the boards.
Yeah.
And well, it was just speed and just throwing all the guys' weight, and he slid right into the boards, or landed right into the boards at the corner, and like he had to get stretchered off and stuff. This isn't like a small town, Saskatchewan, waiting for like an ambulance and stuff.
30
and, like,
minutes.
I think that was before we had ambulances at every rink and stuff like that all the time, waiting for just in case and stuff like that. So it was like, the whole air out of the building just comes out when stuff like that happens. It's so, man.
We've all seen
feels
it.
The weight. It's so scary.
It's terrifying. We've all seen it. If you played sports for a long period of time, I'm sure you've experienced it in some form of a brutal injury, whether it's yourself, your teammate, opposing team. A game you're watching.
The opposite team, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure something's happened.
Something as simple as like Jordan and I are playing high school soccer, and our goalie's leg broke in a game, like just from a slide tackle. Our goalie, like, that was a shock in itself. There, I remember that clear as day, and like obviously our own injuries that we have and some like traumatizing stuff. I've seen people stretch it off the ice too. Like it's awful. And you feel awful when you know the guy. Like one of my close friends got stretchered off, and it was terrifying. Like I remember all of our teammates, the game was canceled, and we just froze. It's like it hits you hard, especially as a teammate, and especially at this level. So I just wanted to kind of show that, and there is a 3-minute clip of Pavelski talking about if you'd like to go listen to it but I just wanted to kind of show that up. That's all you got on Dallas there, Chase?
The only other thing would basically be, Jake Ottinger is gonna get this team going. If you have any doubts with this team, I think it's because we haven't seen the true Ottinger show yet. So hopefully we have a second half of the season. We've been watching the Holtby show so far, so I think there's greener pastures even if we have a second half of the season.
Nice. But no, I agree. I think Ottinger in a couple of years will be a really, really solid goaltender. I know Dallas fans are super excited for him, so that's something to look up to if your team sucks furthermore. But Chase, I believe you mentioned you had one other team you want to talk about before we get into trade talks. Was I right in saying that? Sent to the group chat.
There was a game, Winnipeg and the Blues game on Sunday there. Yeah, that was a good game. I want to bring this up because of Stastny got an apple starting it off, gets number 500.
Yep. That was awesome.
Instantly when they scored, Ehlers was just running around the ice trying to find the puck and giving it to him. It was hilarious. No celebration on that one. Just, here's your puck. This is yours. But after that assist,
he should have saved it for the coach.
He must have Mario mushroomed up after that old Stastny because he got like 2 goals. Stuffed the game.
Monkey's off his back. He got his 500th. Was it assist or point?
Assist.
Okay, yeah. He got his assist. Yeah. He just needed the assist to make sure he got it.
Yeah, exactly. So
can't get 2 goals and still be at 499 assists.
Yeah, he was playing with Scheifele and Ehlers. Love seeing Scheifele and Ehlers pop off. Ehlers just getting a goal and 3 assists in that game.
Ehlers is gonna be so fucking good.
Man.
Isn't even already. I just think he's gonna be even better.
Yeah, dog. No, I feel you because I think he needs to be consistent. It's the only thing I scream at him about is like, dude, if you're more consistent, you're Kyle Connor. Like this.
Absolutely,
I fully agree.
Last year though, he was better than Kyle Connor.
Was that his full?
That was his full year where he lit it. He got like 20 goals or something in a shortened season. Like, he's great. I agree with this whole team. I agree with consistency issues in some form.
And I do believe there is another level this team can be brought to, and I really hope someone else does it because I always believe Paul Maurice would bring these guys there.
And while you're on that note. Let's bring up the head coach, Dave Lowry. I forgot to bring this up last podcast, and I didn't even realize I didn't even put 2 together. Dave Lowry is Adam Lowry's father. I never.
No lips.
I during the podcast, it just
Dave
didn't.
Lowry, the guy that looks like he's never drank water in his life.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, no, it's not. No,
there's okay.
Guy. No.
But no, he gets his first win as a coach, and it's just I don't know how I didn't bring it up last week and didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Like. That's his dad.
Mind either, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah, no, everyone's talking about. I think that's cool as shit. And apparently he's
crazy.
A really respected coach, Lowry. He's definitely earned his way up, and knows what he's talking about. And knowing that Adam Lowry's dad is like a legit coach makes so much sense when I watch him play. I'm like, where did this guy come from? He's so good at these little things that most players take years to develop, and he's just naturally good at them. It makes sense. His dad was a coach and taught him this from a young age. Because Gensel does the same things.
He could be what they need. Like, honestly, that actual father-son connection might help, because dope. That's a big key on this team that I see right now, is getting that third line going again, because they got it going with Kopp and stuff like that and made a sweet line, but now they're down a player or two, so they can't really do that anymore. So maybe he can, he knows this kid pretty well. I'm sure he'll find a line for him. Like, that's for sure. I'll tell you that right now. And he doesn't have to worry about the top six. Put whoever you want. Any of those six guys, jumble them together, throw them together. Doesn't matter. But he's going to figure out this third line. Because, like, how do you not? You'll know what your kid will.
Yeah, he'll have some rearranging to do
and stuff like that, hey?
For sure. He'll have some line juggling to figure out, though, with Blake Wheeler.
And be like, hey, Chevy, I need this guy. My kid will light it up with him.
Yeah, if he stays, because so far he's just taken over for the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we'll see how he does, obviously. If the Jets make playoffs, then he will definitely get a contract, I think. So
I don't see why he wouldn't.
No, absolutely. That's all they need to be. It's a playoff team and hopefully compete in it very well and make some distance. But
there's a lot of promise for me with this Winnipeg team. Just they're a mover.
Exactly what Paul Maurice said.
Possibly, kinda.
Yeah, Paul Maurice believes in this team. He said they just need a new voice, and he could feel it. So, like, that's the reason he left pretty well, or one of the big reasons he left.
Yeah, exactly. Hey.
Like, he knows this team's
tired voice. Everybody knows you too well and stuff like that. Like,
he was
voice, it's just like you kind of want to prove it to him more than
Yeah, he's the second longest tenured coach. I imagine your voice would get old quick.
Yeah, exactly.
He's either there for 8 or 9 years. I can't remember which of the two, but no, absolutely love it. Hopefully, Winnipeg can kind of like start flying more and playing the way they can play. That's what's going to be frustrating about the Jets team this year, is if they underwhelm you, it's because of the players. And because this team is built well. I like this team. Their forward group is one of the best drafted and developed I've ever seen in a long time. Just naturally getting a lot of these guys and draft. Like, they draft Scheifele, Connor, they draft the Ehlers, like trade in Wheeler. Right did the right way. And so I love how this team is orchestrated. Their defense could use some help. Bufflin leaving early didn't help that, but
and I think I've said this before, when you want to put yourself in a situation where your team is like this and all you need to do is get that extra guy for your bottom six, like I'm talking. Like, those are way easier deals.
Absolutely.
Those are way easier holes to fill. There's like 9,000 guys that play those positions.
There's a lot of guys. You just gotta find a guy that gels perfect, right?
As well as they're in that position to do that.
So many
I hope
teams
they
have
do.
shown that just finding a guy that gels can be even better than finding the most talented guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to get into the Blues, Bennington back in there.
Yeah,
got the old. I think he played 2 games now or something like that. But tip of the cap to the old Lindgren, the old southpaw goalie, holding down the fort. In 4 starts, the guy didn't lose a game, conceded only 5 goals, and got 110 saves.
Wow.
Undrafted goalie, ex-Canadian, and a former St. Cloud State, which is like the Minnesota University in the NCAA, which their logos are eerily similar, if you've ever noticed.
I have
kind
not.
of weird. Yeah, it's like the same logo. It's like the C, and then they have the ST in between the C, and it's exactly like the Canadians logo.
Sweet.
St. Cloud State. Yeah, it was trippy. But cool. Lindgren just holding down the fort, lighting it up while I think it was like more or less the last 4 or 5 games I believe he played.
Banner out,
Yeah,
so. No, that's awesome. That's exactly what St. Louis needs. They are so depleted right now. Whether it's protocol, whether it's injury, like, oh boy, this team they got hit hard this past like 3 weeks, 2 weeks here. past 2 weeks, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've definitely been one of those teams that's really struggled with it. Not that every team hasn't, but obviously some teams have worse than others.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll just name the ones just not in the lineup today. Is Braden Shen, Robert Thomas, Ville Husso, Jake Wollman, David Perron, Clem Costin, and James Neal. So not ideal. Having
so
that
pretty
many
much
guys out.
The AHL Blues team.
Half of it, yeah. Luckily, they still got like some awesome top 6 guys and like O'Reilly, Senko, Boosh,
yeah,
Saad,
just like, oh, no,
Jordan, Kyrou. it's that Pierce meme where it's like, oh no, all right. Anyways, I forget his name.
It's like, oh no, we have to play our good prospects.
Yeah. Oh no, we have to pull our third.
Gotta play him, really? I guess so.
Oh man, he's awesome. I love this guy. I love this Peronovich.
Yeah, he's pretty decent. Man,
I fucking love him. Isn't he? Did he win the? He won an award in college as best defenseman, didn't he?
No, he's a forward. Unless they're playing 7D, they could be playing 7D.
He's a D-man, dude.
7D.
This Scott
they have him on the setup on the forward line. Maybe he's the 7th D-man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says here that he's on Cap Friendly that he's the Scott.
Okay, yeah, so then he is the 7th D-man.
Man, I love him.
Yeah, I've heard this guy a few times.
Minnesota Duluth, played in the NCAA for a couple of years.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure he won an award down in the NCAA, like best defenseman award or something, or like wouldn't have been the Hobie Baker, but it's something like that, I swear.
Oh yeah.
Maybe he's a finalist in the Hobie Baker. Maybe that's what it was.
Awards and honors. All USA Hockey First Team. Hobie Baker Award 2020.
Yeah, okay, he did win. So I wondered, he won right before Cole Caulfield. That's awesome. No, I thought, I knew he was something like that. I just didn't know if he'd actually win. He looks like he's going to be a super awesome offensive defenseman. Kind of screws this team a little bit in the future with having Falk and Krug already as some offensive-minded guys. So we'll see.
Yeah, one of them's out the door.
One of them will be out the door.
Krug was a patch, I'm pretty sure, man. He was
both have no move clause.
They
both have 15 no trade clause though, so that's gonna be real hard to.
Yeah, that's just how it is nowadays.
Around.
If you're good enough, you get to choose a certain amount of teams. Like you don't have to go somewhere you don't want to go. Is basically what they're trying to say to these guys. If you're good enough,
yeah.
You know.
Well, there's a lot that
we're not
don't.
Just gonna trade you to the team you hate or something.
No, it's crazy because Ryan O'Reilly doesn't have one, and they give one to Falk and Krug. So that's what I find more kind of. But then again, was O'Reilly's contract
human relationships where like, how much do these guys care about this? Maybe this guy's just like, I don't give a shit. You're not going to do that. I'm not an asshole. I'm not going to be an asshole to you. And are you going to actually just trade me to somebody who I don't want to play with?
I get that. I get that. Like I know he's never being traded, but like it's just interesting. I get why Krug got his. He was a free agent signing. Like. They're always going to be able to get whatever they ask for because someone will give it to them. While we're on the topic, I heard a Patrick Elias story recently that I thought was cool as shit. So back when Patrick Elias was like 27, 28-ish, I think he was a free agent in the NHL. I don't know if you would remember this, Chase. You would be the only one because I don't even remember this back in the day. So you're the only one that has any hope of remembering it on this podcast currently.
Nice.
He was a free agent for the Devils after they were very successful. And Lou said...
What year are we talking?
I don't remember what year. Because he was personally...
Around the low 2000s probably.
Yeah. It was like low, mid 2000s-ish. But anyway, so he's a free agent. Lou Lamoriello said to him, listen, Patrick, we're not going to have enough money to sign you. And so he said, you're going to get the money in free agency. We don't have it. So he's probably going to go. And he was a little upset. So him and his agent, he was super stressed about it. They ended up getting like 15 calls from teams because Patrick Elias being an all-star and super elite in the league at the time. And finally, he narrowed it down to a couple teams, and it was the Rangers and another team I can't remember, or LA. LA said I'll give you anything for any years, any money, any years, sign it. We'll give you a blank check. but they were bad.
Yeah,
Whereas the Rangers were very competitive, but he was a Devil, so it was his rival. And he got down to a deal. LA made a trade, so they didn't have the cap space to do exactly what he wants. They're like, listen, we still want to sign you. It can be this for this, but that's all we can do, unfortunately. We already spent some money. And he's like, no, that's not enough money for me to go to a rebuilding team. So he's like, New York, I'm going to New York. And that was the last team. And then last minute, he's like, but if I'm going to a rival, I don't want to get traded away and them hate me for it. So I have to stick here if I want to stick here. So he asked for a no-move clause for them. And they said, no, we didn't even give Gretzky a no-move clause then, which was a lie. They're like, we didn't give Gretzky one, we didn't give Messier one. They're like, and Patrick Ellis is like, actually, I know that's a lie. I know you gave it to him behind the scene that was a no-move clause and all that, right? Like, so he's like, you give it to me, and he's like, they're like pissed off. Absolutely no, we're not signing, and yada. And he's like, oh shit. And it was like big money for, I think it was like 6.5 at the time, which is a lot at the time. And then he called Lou, and he's like, hey, listen, the Rangers offered me this, and I asked for no move. They're saying no. Is there any chance we could work something out? And within 5 minutes, Lou Lamoriello worked out a deal, offered him a contract, and he signed it.
Nice.
After telling him he didn't have enough money, they made it work where he got the exact same money the Rangers offered, but they added an extra year to lower the cap hit. So, he was like at like 5.5 or something.
Leaving. I remember him.
Yep.
So I remember him definitely leaving, and then he didn't. So
yeah,
cool.
he signed a deal pretty much with the Rangers, but then he wanted to add no move, and they said no, so he went back to the Devils. So just a cool little story about no moves while we're on the topic. But sorry, you can continue with the Blues. What you were saying? I know I went off on a big tangent there. No, Chase, you're muted there, man. Oh well, Jordan, what do you got on the Blues?
No, I mean, like you guys have been saying, it's just this team has just been riddled with inconsistencies this year, and I don't think that's been at their own fault.
Yeah, at times, but I think this team is good. I think they're really good. This Blues,
every team has their mistakes and their ups and downs, but for the most part, I think this team has been quite unlucky, I would say.
Yeah, should be a wild card team right now based on everything, but they'll be right there battling for it. They're the team that I feel like is going to make mistakes in the regular season, but will make playoffs anyways. But those mistakes were made because they're like, we just need to get in. Once we get in, we know there's a chance we can do this. So I think it's very fair. Well, Chase, I think his mic died, so I think he'll have to come in once it's charged a little bit more. So while we're waiting for that, and then we'll dive into some trade talk when he's back. Jordan, why don't you talk about your Capitals a little bit? I'll give you some light to talk about whatever players you are happiest with, disappointed in. Is there any players you're really disappointed in this team so far with the games? Like, who's the guy that's like, this fucking guy some nights? Like, maybe not every night, but...
when we're talking about the Capitals in general, it's always a defenseman.
Right? Yeah, that's fair. So who's number one on your list this year that you've gone? Because mine used to always be, it was CC for a start, and then it's Matheson. It's still Matheson. Who's yours where you're like, some nights just like, oh, this fucking guy, like, just do something.
It's definitely not Feverly. I can say that straight out of the gate. So he has been fantastic. Sometimes I would definitely say, I'm a little bit more worried about the likes of like Nick Jensen.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Do you know who Nick Jensen reminds me of a lot of right now? And I'm getting big vibes. Justin Hall, in the fact he's playing with Orlov and playing really well specifically with him, but may not be that great of a defenseman if he's not in a perfect situation. Like, I wonder if he's going to be like, oh, he's a perfect top four, and then he's just going to fall off at some point. So I'm kind of worried about, but...
Yeah, I like the shutdown line, but sometimes when he's on the puck, it's a bit worrisome, right?
Yeah, I completely understand what you mean about that. For the first couple of years of Brian Dumoulin, I was a little like, oh, this guy can't move the puck, but learned how to do that playing with Letang. But what about your forward group? Is there anyone on your forward group where you're just like, maybe it's a good player who's just not scoring enough or like not creating enough? Like, who's your one guy that's like, you may still like him, but you want to see more than they've shown?
I mean, part of me says the Osh Babe because he hasn't been playing much this season due to injuries and
that's
COVID and shit.
That's fair.
But I don't think that's too fair because, like I said, so I'd probably say Hagelin.
Hagelin, interesting. He's really missing his line mates. He was.
Yeah.
There's Chase. He's back with his mic.
Because you can't say Garnet Hathaway. He's been an elite sniper this year.
And he's been injured a lot too. And is he back yet? I don't even know if he's back yet. I think he just got back. I think that line just got back because Nick Dowd got back last podcast.
Yeah, Nick Dowd just got back as well.
So that's at least he's got his line back for sure. Chase, where'd you go? Did you like wander off into Narnia?
Oh, I just had to take a shit. I had to take a leak of.
Okay. I thought you were like, because I threw it back over to you, and then you're just like dead quiet. I'm like, oh, nope.
I took my headphones off.
We thought your mic died.
My headphones off. I usually at least keep my headphones on if I actually go take a piss quick, but that I know if you're talking to me.
Yeah, we were. So we just went off on a tangent about Capitals quick. Talk about Jordan's most worrisome Capitals. He was just bringing up how some nights he feels Nick Jensen and Carl Hagelin, they can maybe do a bit like, oh fuck, just do better. There's those guys.
They give me the worries sometimes. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with our team.
Yeah, absolutely.
I understand that on defense, we're not going to be good, so I don't expect us to be good.
Yeah, see, and I know what you mean because mine is Mike Matheson on defense. Some nights he's fantastic, and other nights it's like, you are awful. Like, oh, come on, just do what you know what you can do. And then some nights it's Brian Rust. Some nights I get really mad at Brian Rust. Where he just doesn't seem like it's going well. So I'm well aware and know what you mean by could be better.
I'm sure
happy with the team. Like, I don't want to get rid of Rust or Matheson particularly right now, but
some nights they are the guys that you're
or
on.
Or Zucker. Zucker's either my favorite player that night or the worst sometimes because like he's always everywhere, but sometimes it's a bad thing that he's everywhere. And
trade him, get him out of here.
Like the more you say that, I'm like, no, because I don't know if we can upgrade that need. But at the same point where I'm like, yes, please get something more simple. It's such a I don't know, kind of rough. What about you, Chase? While we're on it, do you got any players on the wings that you're just like, fuck's sakes, again tonight? Like, why are you bad again? Like, he's not always bad, but he's leaves you disappointed more sometimes.
Well, I don't like to say this because it's, but I say it because it's obvious. Like Danny DeKeyser is just like, the most painful person to watch.
Oh yeah,
and that's not a joke. I can't. They'll even defend him. They'll make it seem like it's not him that did something wrong. Like that's the thing that kills me even more is
the like, Jake Gardner with the Leafs type of deal.
Yeah, they'll just be like, oh, well, this happened, and that's why that happened. No, DeKeyser straight up did the wrong thing, and that's why it happened. Like, what's
the best part about him, though? His contract's up this year, and you don't have to bring him back.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
Do you think they'll bring him back?
I'm not saying anything until it actually happens. Until he's actually not on our lineup, I am not. God hasn't done. It can happen. He's like a cancer we'll never get rid of or something like that. A tumor on our fucking side.
Hey, well, is he as bad as Kyle Quincy was?
No, I like Kyle Quincy.
You like Kyle Quincy? I used to. I didn't hate him. I used to like watch.
People thought he was supposed to be better, and I think that's where everybody got a little wrong because he was only a bottom pairing D-man. He was never. We traded for him for like a top 4 D-man. I think that was the Vasilevsky pick that we gave up. Like.
Yeah, no, I just remember listening to some like Wings fans online or remember just like, Cal Quincy's so terrible. We'd be winning every cup without Cal Quincy and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Is there a forward?
But honestly, yeah, forward. I was gonna like.
Who's the guy that?
It's Gagne. I would honestly say it's Gagne.
Interesting.
And I know I don't have like crazy expectations for Sam Gagne, but like I just know there's something. I
would have thought it was Rasmussen.
We could get out of him.
I would have thought Rasmussen. Just like, not that he's bad by any means. This isn't saying the players are bad. It's just like some nights they just make boneheaded decisions. That's like, come on, like, just like pass it to your D-man. Don't try and like do 3 spinoramas and take a shot in the corner. Like, sometimes Matheson will like just puck watch too, and it's just like, just move your fucking feet, dude. So, no, I was just curious what your guys' team players were. Where you're like, come on. But no, let's move.
I don't know what it is. I just feel like there's another gear to Gagne that he could.
I think it's because he used to be like so fast and just so effective as like a second, third liner that it's like you want to see that again. He's just
such a smart player. Like
he is a smart player.
Like, you don't need to be the guy you were before, but like use your smarts definitely to your full advantage instead.
For sure.
You know, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just simply, you know, guys not playing enough to get going, or
you know, could be just age.
But
honestly, the game change, and he's
no doubt, like, exactly.
It could be as simple as that too. And
I just feel you could give us a little bit more on bottom line.
Trust me, I feel there's been a couple of guys over the years where I felt like it would really be nice if we could fix this one specific spot on Pittsburgh to make it slightly better. Like, it's nitpicking, but that's what we do as fans. So let's get into some trade talk to close out the podcast. Actually, we're going to do trade talk, and then I got a little segment to close out the podcast for the last, like, 15 minutes. But we're going to do some longer trade talk next podcast, because I've been the past day or so accruing some names that are on my trade bait board. I'm going to start making trade bait boards where it's like top 15, top 20 players likely to be traded, and that makes sense. So right now I've got a bunch of names in front of me. For next week, I'm going to compile that together in a list and ranking of who I think will get traded. I'm going to put some teams likely to potentially trade for them. I'm going to put likely what they get back. Like, I'm going to dive deep into this over the Christmas break. So, Chase, I'm going to throw it to you. What do you got for trade talks? What do you got it for now?
We'll start off with Klingberg.
Yep.
I know it's not like a super hot for sure trade sort of thing, but I do think there's
especially
something
Dallas
to happen.
In limbo.
Yeah, exactly. Like, both these teams are in limbo, so there's kind of I think Klingberg to the Islanders. I think there's a Kindle or some sort of Kindle to Fire. It just both teams are in limbo and sort of thing, and you don't really. They might be perfectly both in limbo, and they're like, "Okay, we need to like do something." Basically, you know, like we can Dallas, we can afford to give up a D-man and take a step down on a D-man, and maybe get a forward. So what I'm thinking is maybe they go with like a Bailey at $5 million for 2 years, and Scott Mayfield. I think he's only at 1.45 for this year.
Actually, switch completely different type of defenseman. That's so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
They complete opposite of players. One's a bottom six, like defensive minded.
Yeah, exactly.
One's like a top pairing offensive.
Yeah, exactly. Completely switch that.
I like Bailey. That would be interesting.
And then get Bailey in your Dallas forward group, because they're missing
Radulov.
They need and also possibly replacing Radulov as well. So I just think they need somebody else in that forward group. I think they're missing somebody. And then what we would send them back would be like a Klingberg and like a Kivi Ranta or something like.
Yeah, just a forward who can make the team, and that isn't.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sure you could probably get a pick or
super dope,
a prospect or something. Just because Klingberg's,
I think they would want a roster player. The Islanders, if you're gonna trade away a top forward, you'd probably want someone who can like come in and play. Like, it'd probably be they would love a raffle. They would absolutely love like a Michael raffle. That is like the perfect Islander. Maybe Dallas would be okay with giving up on like Tooft, or who's like a fringe guy, or Caro, who's a bit older but an NHL guy. So definitely some options. The Islanders would have to sign to an extension for it to make sense for them, though. in my mind. There's no way you trade Bailey and then let Klingberg walk this year.
Yeah, 100%.
So what's the contract? What's the contract roughly looking like in your guys' eyes? Like, what would you pay Klingberg next year? For any team, frankly. The Islanders, if they do an extension, though.
I'd go 7. I'd be okay with 7.
7? For, like, 6
How old is he again?
29, I believe. Yeah, 29.
29, yeah, 5.
So it'd take him to 35.
4 5.
36-ish if you did 6 years. But so 4 or 5 you'd do years?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely not bad. Jordan, what type of a contract would you think for Klingberg, and what do you think of the deal that Chase proposes?
No, I mean, I really like the deal. I think Klingberg might get a little more than that. Not too much more, but I definitely think
7.5, yeah.
a pretty penny.
This is just like a basis for sure. I fully agree.
Yeah, we also know Lou. We also know Lou doesn't like to pay people a lot of money, but will give him term. So there's a very good chance that maybe Chase is like more closer to the money on the term.
Yeah,
maybe even less at 6.5, but it's like a 7-year deal. Like, because the Islanders would probably do that, a 6-7 year deal for $6 million
or something.
Yeah. Or 5.5. Like, maybe he doesn't take a big one, like a big pay raise, and goes to like from 4.2 to like 5.5. But
but like the actual trade wise, I'm sure they could probably get more than just Bailey out of Klingberg and like Mayfield.
Yeah, it all depends. It's.
Is that what you were saying, Jordan? That they could probably get more than just Bailey and Mayfield for a Klingberg, like probably get like, I don't know, maybe a prospect, especially if you're sending him a
Kiefer Bellows, or even a Kiefer Bellows or something.
Hey, like I don't know if that's like I said, that's more of a basis to a trade. But another thought towards that is Radulov even swapping for Bailey, because that could help the Islanders
that could help both teams
a little bit of scoring. A
little bit of scoring with a little bit of bite. He's got some bite to his game, so they would enjoy Radulov a lot, I think. Sometimes
these are two teams that don't really want to like just straight give up or anything.
No,
so they'll be looking for moves like this. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not a bad show. I like Klingberg in the Island if they can make a term, like a contract work, obviously. And Bailey, I don't love trading Bailey if I'm an Islander fan looking at it, because I think he's so important on that wing. But I get it. At the same time, I believe the Islanders would trade Bailey, right?
Yeah. I feel like I fully agree, because he just feels like a long-time Islander to me.
For me, it feels like you trade one of your other two $5 million contracts. Yeah, for me, you trade Pajot or Palmieri before Bailey, in my mind. If you can.
Yeah. I'd like to see Bailey out, is probably why I'm putting him in trades all the time, because I'd actually like to see him on another team.
Yeah, if I'm Pittsburgh, I would absolutely I would trade Zucker for him and add something in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
No doubt, dog.
Like, that would be sweet. That's the player I could see replacing Zucker. Make a trade that way. Did you have another trade? Because you mentioned another name.
Yeah. Well, Chicka Holmes. Chicka Holmes.
Should I give some background to the rumors I got? Because the rumors I got were slightly true. At first I thought they were completely true, and then Source came out and said it wasn't really true, that they weren't shopping him. Arizona was not shopping Jacob Chychrun, but they were offered by a couple teams, and legit offers too. And Arizona definitely thought about it, and they've been thinking about it for a while, and that's the biggest asset they have to get lots back.
From what I heard, they're listening to offers 100%.
Yeah. And I heard one team had been in close talks and said, we are out and no way we're giving up what they're asking for. So that's the start.
That's understandable.
Because, that's just the rumors off the start.
You're paying up for this guy. This is not a 1 first-round pick and a good prospect sort of thing.
Oh no, we're talking this is a big.
They're gonna look at they're gonna look at your team and be like, I want those guys.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be that, and that's it. That's it. There's no.
He has one of the best contracts in the NHL.
You're just looking for three really high prospects. Well, here's 3. No, it'll be Arizona being like, no, I want those 3 guys. That's it. I don't. If I was Zona, I'm getting 3 guys I know that are going to be awesome, or 2 guys that are for surely going to be awesome. There's no.
Yeah, and in return with Chychrun, has an amazing contract. He's 23 and has a 4 years on his deal, 3 years after this, but at $4.6 million.
Yeah, like, the amount of trades you could make that work, like every team
could make that trade. Any team could fit him in their cap with a trade. Any team could make that work. Like maybe like very, very like 3 teams in the NHL might not be able to make it work if they're not okay with trading a certain cap.
And I'll bring up like the quick because I kind of brought it up with Boston. Him going to Boston would be a decent spot. Just real quick, they got like a John Moore, Zaboral, or a Vakanainen, or a Riley, or a Forbert. These guys chilling at like $3 million for a Chychrun. All you need to do is, if they have the types of players that Zona wants back, which might be the downside issue to Boston.
Lysol, it would instantly be Stanika, Lysol, maybe DeBrusk, probably. Vakanainen's in the boat.
And I don't even know if that would be enough to. How much do they want first round picks? Like, I'm sure they like to have.
I bet it would be a first.
It's not the worst thing, but like, do you need more? Is all I'm getting at. Like,
I think if it's Boston,
but
if it's Boston, no. If I'm Arizona and Boston's calling me for Chychrun, what I personally ask for is a start, and maybe even more. I would need to take time to like really in depth think. But off the top of my head, instantly a first round pick this year because it's a wild card, and I'm okay with it being top 2 protected or top 5 maybe, but like not higher. I would want Swayman. I would try and pull Swayman out of there because that's a young, great goalie that Arizona could use. And then I would try and get Stanika or Lysol, and then probably Vakanainen and another prospect or second round pick with it. Like that's.
Here's what I was thinking in terms of what Boston could offer, because I was thinking a lot about this, and I thought Boston was definitely up in the.
Yeah, the talks.
Chychrun talks, yeah. I was thinking DeBrusk, Jack Akin, probably Zaboral, and then maybe like Grzelcyk.
Yeah, Grzelcyk.
And then I 100% agree, has to be this year's first.
Yeah.
If not more picks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, like I'd probably go
maybe add in the likes of Studnicka.
Yeah, or Lysol, one of the 2.
Yeah, I'd rather keep Lysol. But
if you're Boston, absolutely, you try. But if you're Arizona, that's the first prospect I list if I'm Arizona. Stanicka's 2, and Vakanainen is probably 3. But
if you're Boston, I'd ideally like to give up Riley, like a Zaboral or Vakanainen.
Riley and say Grzelcyk if you're willing to do that, and then add like a pick as
or Lysol. Like your pick. So.
One of those 2 would have to be in the deal. One of those prospect, Riley, Grzelcyk, or Vakanainen.
And you'd also have to like throw like a John Moore over or something.
Yeah, for cap.
Possible cap reasons and crap,
but that's maybe why you got Riley or Grzelcyk in it. Like that would be enough cap. I'm pretty
either way, Boston's a tough place to make the trade happen. I think
extremely tough.
But it's like it's a place that he should go, sort of thing. Like if he could just pick a place, this would be a good place for him to go. It would probably be in his list of teams. Like, oh yeah, I'd fit perfectly in there. They need me, sort of thing.
Imagine a line of him and McAvoy.
Yeah, exactly. So my other team with him is the Blackhawks.
Interesting. They do need a lefty really bad.
Like we said with his cap hit, it's perfect for anybody.
Perfect.
And I see Calvin DeHaan. You don't need Calvin DeHaan. He's got 1 year. Toss him over. What do you want? They got lots of guys to give up for Chychrun when it comes
to. What are you giving up as Chicago that you're comfortable with? Because you kind of gone all in. You might as well keep. Like you can't limbo.
How do you spend more? Hey,
it's hard to spend more, but
going back.
yeah, that's a start. Or no, that would not be a start. I don't think they would do that. I just thought about that. I was like, that's the team that drafted him. Not a chance they're trading that.
Back to Dylan Strome.
No.
Definitely the Bagel. The Bagel's got to be worth 4 first-round picks, right?
I got a different name for you. What about Kubalik?
Yeah, he's super on a down. Definitely start with Kubalik, eh?
That's a name I steal. If I don't think Chicago would budge if I even asked this name. But Kirby Dach is definitely a name I would ask, like straight up. I would arguably do a deal like I would go Dach and either another mid prospect for him straight up, maybe like 20-year-old top 3 pick. I really like Kirby Dach. He's a center.
Oh, I think he's gonna be a stud in the future.
I think he will too. He needs to get his lazy streak out of his game at times.
I'm not putting Chikrin that high. I don't think you want to put somebody with that sort of possible echelon.
No, I know, but if you're Arizona, you do 1-for-1 and ask for that.
Bodine.
Yeah, that's a
Nicholas
name.
Bodine. He's a guy.
But then you have to give up a first of some sort.
First, you'd have to give up
next year's first. It'd be next year's first. I don't know. That's tough to give up too when you're already kind of. If you double down and you're bad both years, oh boy.
She'd be a tough trade. Another team that
very
would be
tough
a tough trade, but
just because of their positioning,
he could really, really do swell on, or a team that could use him right now. That's for sure.
They really need some lefty.
I don't know. Really can you make it work with like a Kurashev, with like maybe a Brandon Hagel or a Kubalik?
I think you could, because those are enough good enough names that I think can spark into top
and a
9 guys.
You know,
and a pick. Yeah, and you give the first round pick next year. With that, I would listen. I would listen to that deal if I'm Arizona.
Like I kind of said earlier, like they have lots of crap here in Chicago, so it's kind of whether they know
who's a name I'd probably ask for as a prospect, just because it will make Chicago think, is Lucas Reichel. That's a name I ask right away. Like, I want Reichel. If you won't give me Dach, I want Kurashev and Reichel. And
no doubt. I want like Bodine and Reichel.
Yep. You want all 3, honestly. I think you'd have to add all 3 in a pick and some cap, like either, like I said, DeHaan.
You'd have to send your DeHaan. Yeah,
or Kubalik would work too, I think. I think the money would be fine if they offered Kubalik. Because it's only like $1 million.
DeHaan, Reichel, and Bodine. Like, that definitely would get it done, I would think.
That's a start. Like, they definitely need more than that to me.
See, like, I'm not sure. Some people are a little. I heard a little bit of injury concern and stuff like that with Chikrin. So
yeah, but he's 23 and on a long-term elite deal. Like,
exactly.
This is the Eichel conversation,
right? To pay up.
You have to pay up for him, and he's everyone's looking for a top 4 D-man right now. Every single team could use that.
Yeah, it always pushes you over the edge.
It always pushes you over the edge, and on a long-term deal. In the start of his prime, like, there's no downside.
Like, me,
there's zero downside.
Like I said off the start, I want 3 real things.
Yes,
is almost kind of how I would feel about that.
I want 3 real things and maybe some extra little pieces to make me feel better.
I would be okay with 2. I would be okay with 2 really legit, two guys that I trust.
Pieces.
2 guys that I trust. Like, you know.
Yeah, and.
Yeah, but that's basically all I got for the Chikrin on spots for him. Do you guys have any thoughts on some Chikrin spots or what?
Some Chikrin spots. Well, there's a lot of teams, like you said. Everyone can fit him. There's a team that I'm staring dead at, and I wonder if they could make it work. They would have to give up either one of Sandin or Robertson, and that's the Leafs.
Yeah, the Leafs and the Wings are weirdly actual teams that could.
I think the Leafs should be. You do not get a friendly contract. Yeah, you do not see this contract often for a D-man when your D struggling. If you can have now the only downside is if it's a downside to you give up Muzzin. Brody plays the right side.
I guess Brody probably not, but yeah.
You give up Muzzin, so Muzzin's gone and or Sandin. In some way, you have to make that deal. I would be more comfortable giving up Robertson than Sandin. I don't think that's a great trade either because I really like him. I think he's going to be a good player, Nick Robertson. But for Chikrin, I would do that. I would do Robertson at first, and like maybe you can get Muzzin in a different deal and give Kerfoot to.
Yeah, like you're probably gonna want one decent defenseman back, maybe, but like
they either Dermott, you either give Dermott, Hall, or Muzzin. It's one of those three.
Like,
or Sandin.
Like I'm talking like a prospect future. Like I wonder
Sandin,
how much Zone is looking for. No, I'm wondering how much Zone is looking for an actual defensive prospect, because they actually do have quite a few.
They do have a lot, yeah,
in their system, and obviously several picks. So I'm just wondering what their direction
maybe it's
is.
centers.
Do they want to go with more? Yeah, exactly. Centers.
But Nick Robertson's a center, so that's definitely something. Like, yeah, absolutely. There's definitely assets.
I was thinking about the Leafs too. Like,
that's the first team I look at that makes like sense to really go for it and push. And this is a contract that'll be long-term friendly for this team. They're never going to look at Chychrun and be like, damn, Chychrun's screwing us with that contract.
Yeah.
Like, never going to do that. The Blues.
Exactly. The only other team I thought of was that I really liked was Calgary.
Yeah, I
think we brought this up a while ago too. Like,
yeah,
I think when I first heard about the rumor, I was that wasn't true apparently. That they would possibly let him go. I thought of Calgary because I thought that would be that will take this team over the edge.
Nope, absolutely. That's a team. I mean, a team that seems to be in on everything. There's two other ones. I got Colorado and Carolina. I think it would be crazy if they got them because like they're always in on the big guys, and I don't see why they wouldn't be in on this as well. They both have high-end prospects that they could trade if need be. They're willing to trade their picks.
Could trade Girard.
They could trade Girard straight up from... That seems more like...
that's...
I wonder if that's...
pretty crazy.
That would be nuts because like I don't know who I'd prefer. I love both of them for kind of different reasons. Like Chychrun, I think probably high-end probably is better. But... Eric, I'm just... Where is he?
Man, can the Capitals do this? Like, the Capitals should do this somehow. Because they have enough stuff to, like, take some of their...
they would have to give up... McMichael would have to be gone. I bet McMichael's the first name on that list.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be...
Or Lapierre.
Is there a way to not hurt themselves very much and still have them in and kind of keep going?
Well...
And not give up, like, too much?
Ask
like,
Jordan.
You can give up a first-round pick for sure, hey?
Jordan, would you be comfortable giving up at bare minimum a first and Lapierre or a first and McMichael?
Yeah.
Really? For Chychrun, you would?
What about both of them?
What about both and a first?
Not both. Only one.
Okay.
Okay. What else?
What about that? What about one of them? So who do you prefer, Lapierre? Yeah. Alexiev is.
I mean, it'd have to be Lapierre gone, unfortunately, because McMichael is more of a certainty.
Ooh.
That might be why.
Yeah. I agree. I think McMichael's more of a certainty too.
I think Lapierre has the potential to be better than McMichael, but I think McMichael has more certain to be a stay.
I think he's going to be a 15-20 goal guy consistently, McMichael.
If I wanted McMichael, Alexiev, and a first round, this year's first round pick, would you take it?
For Chychrun.
I wouldn't like it, but I'd take it. I feel like they could get way more from somebody else for that.
I think now that you're saying it, I think even if you add a first, McMichael and Lapierre, I wonder if you do it. And for the strict reason of Ovechkin's 36. And I know he's got 4 years. You're going to win now, and this is a top 4. This isn't like a 27-year-old, too. This is a 23-year-old.
Yeah, and let's be serious. This team does not... Like, I raved about it a few episodes ago. This team knows how to do this whole GM thing. Like, they're not wasting stuff. They haven't done anything like this. They could do this. Yeah,
they can do this. Yeah, Chase and I talked about this a lot in our GM reviews.
Every team should be looking into this.
Absolutely. Right? Oh, I think every single team should look into this because... It's definitely worth looking at.
It's just perfect timing for your Ovi situation. Like, this is Chychrun throughout the time that Ovi's got like his last bit of his contract.
You might have to give up Orlov with it, now that I think, too, for cap.
And also the passing of the guard, man. It'd be real nice to know you have somebody to pass the torch to
instead of John just Carlson's number one to
relying on him for the next 5-6 years.
Yeah, so absolutely. There's a lot of teams. Like you said, like every team kind of fits. You can make an argument for every team on why they can do it. There's very few you couldn't. Like Seattle, I instantly look at and say not a chance because they don't have enough prospects to get done. Where they literally
don't have anything.
They have enough in Beniers, but you don't do that. That makes zero sense. To trade Beniers, your future potential number one guy.
Yeah, it'll definitely end up
potential
with
future
who
captain.
Has enough random prospects that one, Arizona actually likes and wants,
and two are willing to give up.
How many of those prospects they have that they can actually give up and still continue
to be good
with some sort of hope in the future,
to be legit,
instead of just being like,
absolutely, for sure. Are those the only two names you had for the trade talk today?
Oh, I don't. There's a lot of names.
There's a lot of names, and I'm not going to bring up any because, like, I have a list of them, but I want to go in depth with them next podcast and, like,
I'm good
get some
with
stuff
that.
out. Okay. Cool. Well, I got one last segment we can do. Quickly close out the podcast. It won't take too long. You guys are going to list two teams each. We're all going to do it. And I want you guys, we're going to start with Chase, Jordan, and myself, and then go one team, and then one team, and then circle around one more time. We're going to list our most surprising teams of the season. Now, this can be either successful or very unsuccessful. You can go and half glass empty or half glass full, however much you would like. So, Chase, I will throw it to you. Who is one of your two most exciting or surprising teams of this season thus far?
Well, I kind of did this not too long ago, and I'll stick with it. But I'll slightly change it a wee bit. One of them is the Minnesota Wild. That's my number one surprise.
Okay, start with them, and then I'll throw a Jordan Wall. Why are they your most surprising team?
Because I didn't realize Ryan Hartman would be able to be this good, and not saying that he couldn't do it. I really wished he could have for a long time. It's just weird that it just happened so randomly, obviously. But the defense is the other thing that's I just love the dynamic of the defense. Perfect, like how they have it set up. They're Kulikov and Goligoski. They balance that lineup so well. I felt in years past with Sutter, Brodin, and Spurgeon and Dumba. They play so similar. Like you needed something else. I thought Dumba was more of the offensive guy, and it just turns out all four of these guys just almost play the same type of game. They just need a little bit more spunk on that defense, and obviously a change of playing style. And I guess that'd be the biggest surprise is that the changing of the style is made this team so much better.
So exciting.
They can keep up.
They can score with the best of them.
The goals,
Yeah, they can score with the best of them. I'm pretty sure. Are they still not top 5 in goals for in the NHL?
And the play of Cam Talbot is
fourth.
Nothing but great.
Yeah,
for those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan, what is your first team that is the most surprising this season, and why?
Got to be the Ducks.
Yeah, that's fair.
The big thing for me has just been the way they've played, despite having lost Gibson for a serious chunk. Because for a while, Gibson was quite literally the Anaheim Ducks.
yes, he was. Getzlaff was there, but there's two guys that we knew.
Yeah. And now they can actually play without him, and it's not like, oh shit, John Gibson's out. It's like, okay, this is a serious fucking team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. For sure. I'm gonna start off with Calgary. Calgary is by far my most surprising team this year. Minnesota's up there, but I thought they'd be good. I didn't even think Calgary would be good, but they're great. So their defense is fantastic. They shut down everyone. Goaltenders are playing out of their skin, and they're getting goals from kind of everywhere, which I really like. Obviously, Mangiapane's having a ridiculous season. Johnny Gaudreau's kind of having a revitalized season. And then depth-wise, Milan Lucic is a legit NHL player again. And he does not have the worst contract even close to the NHL anymore. Like, 5 is obviously too much for Lucic now, but the way he is playing, I'm not that mad about this contract, like, with what he's doing. But Blake Coleman coming in seemed to be the biggest notice for just the style of the forwards changing. They press a lot more than they ever have, and Gaudreau doesn't look like he's only there to cherry pick and score goals anymore. He looks like a real hockey player everywhere around the ice. He's still got
for like 2 years they were like trying to force Mangiapane or Dubé to make their top 6 great.
Yeah,
and now that you have Coleman, you don't have
to at all.
Both of those guys to be in the top 6. Like,
yep.
Mangiapane's obviously in there now because he's solidified himself. But yeah, exactly. Hey,
no, it's just this team.
Actually, I think Dubé's on the top 6 technically because he's playing with Coleman or whatever. But you've created a top 9 that's like actually legit. Like that addition of Coleman.
And that's it.
Balance
and
that
with Lucic
group.
stepping up too is a big piece playing that third line.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's some disappointing players obviously on his team still, like Sean Monahan. Like, I know he's playing in a certain role. I just don't like him in that role. That's my only gripe I have with this team. But everyone else, Matthew Tkachuk, this team is great. I love everything about this team. And Daryl Sutter proved me wrong yet again. So let's move on to our final teams. Chase, what is your final most surprising team in the league?
Well, technically they're Calgary. They're tied. My 2 teams are kind of tied. Yeah. They're Calgary and Detroit. But I'll talk about Detroit. Obviously, you just talked about Calgary. Yeah, obviously they're the most surprising to me was because I just wanted our team to suck this year and we didn't. So it's just surprising to see that we actually give a full game. Like, we play every game. We played every game all year this year instead of seemingly not showing up for most of every game. And that's the most surprising part to me. Not saying that they couldn't do it and there was no way they would do it at the start of the year. I just didn't want it to happen because I feel like this is our last chance to be not good.
To get another elite prospect, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that.
And
early rebuilds can kind of screw you by being too good. So that was definitely a fear.
Yeah, exactly. And it sucks in a sense, but like I said, it's time to just start winning. It doesn't really matter. You can always kind of have an off year and maybe retool a year or 2 down the road.
Yeah, that's true.
If you feel you need to, just to get a higher pick because you need that extra punch or whatever. But
right.
No, I'm pleasantly surprised with that. The Larkin effect, I guess. Yes. I don't know what it is exactly. He's really become our captain, and it's nice to see.
Absolutely. And you didn't even bring up the rookies. Guys. Yeah, I was just about to say, didn't even bring up how well the rookies are playing on top of it, too. So you must be...
Because you don't need to.
Yeah, probably this was your Christmas present this year, was getting to watch a competitive Wings team.
Yeah, man.
That's your early Christmas gift.
It truly is.
Absolutely. Well, let's throw.
Because I was hoping for this, and I thought they could be this for like a month or 2, like a good portion of the season at least. Like we'll see the Wings this year. Like,
the future
are we gonna not see the Wings this year? Like we might see the Wings all year now.
Yeah, so no, that would be crazy.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Jordan, let's throw it over to you, and you can talk about your last most surprising team.
I'm gonna go in a bit of a different direction. I'm gonna say Buffalo.
Interesting.
I like it.
I expected Buffalo to be a bottom 2 team, 100%.
So did I.
Currently, they're doing better than a lot of teams they shouldn't be. They're better than Montreal. They're better than Ottawa. They're better than the Islanders, the Devils, the Seattle, Chicago. Like, they're doing too good. They're doing too good. I expected them to be an undeniable ass team.
Yeah.
Not Arizona bad.
Yeah, no doubt.
Next level. Like, you're not going to compare a bad season to Arizona because we knew it. If you have a bad season, it was going to be compared to Buffalo because they have NHLers.
Yeah, I genuinely thought they were bad enough, Buffalo, that they would be within 4 points of Arizona.
Yeah, exactly, right? And
I had them.
Currently, they have not.
Bottom 2.
I've been really impressed, especially with their way of holding on to games and taking it to overtime.
Yeah.
Not necessarily having the most luck in overtime, but just the fact that they can get that point, that's something
huge. They're playing competitive games. Like, it's important, like,
exactly.
to do
when you're
do
a
that.
competitive team, those single point games can be the reason you get playoffs or not.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I'll jump into mine. I'm just going to list a couple of teams that were kind of there, but kind of slowed down a little bit. We got Columbus. They started off super hot. They've slowed down a little bit. Kind of come back down to earth a bit more. Devils, kind of exactly where we thought they'd be at this point. They started off hot as well. And obviously, like, Detroit being mentioned like you had there. I want to bring up Seattle being in the basement in the Pacific's kind of surprising. We thought San Jose would be more or less down there instead.
I guess, hey, if we want to talk about, yes.
It should be Seattle. We had them playoffs almost, yeah.
For me, I should be saying it's the most surprising, but in all reality, I wasn't going to be surprised if they did do this.
And that's the issue with it. It's not surprising, but we expected more out of you. Now, I got a team where this is definitely Chase is probably second, and I'm surprised he didn't bring it up, but he did bring up Minnesota, so that's fair enough. I'm gonna say Dallas. They are in the same boat because I talked so much about Boston. I was gonna bring up them too because we always expect Boston to be good, but not as much. I think Dallas are just, oh boy, this is just not look good, and when it does, it's great. It is so great. But this is by far the most surprising team because I've never seen a team be this streaky in 30 games. They went 7 straight wins and then went 6 straight losses or something.
I think it was
and at the start,
they
had 4, but at the start of the year they had 8 losses out of 10 or 11 games or something. This team has just been constantly limboing between bad and good. The worst and the best team. So I think it's where they are and where a lot of people thought they'd be after having an injury-riddled season and a write-off season.
Funny. What did I hear? The one guy was like, for we all thought there was going to be goalie questions and stuff because they did all these weird goalie moves.
Yep.
And then
that's one of the most solidified spots. Yeah. Their defense
is not showing up every game. So
I have a theory on why Dallas's defense is struggling more than they have in the past. Though they're smaller than they used to be. Did you notice they don't have Jamie Alexiak anymore? That losing him was huge, and I wondered that for this team's identity. He really kind of made this team's identity what it is. Very big, strong, hard to get past defenseman.
Especially on the defensive side. Hey,
yes.
Exactly.
They always had one guy who was a big, strong, because Lindell's pretty big. Hockenpah, coming in as a decent replacement, but just not the same.
Hey?
They're not aggressive enough, and that's what Alexiak brought.
But, exactly.
Hockenpah seems immature aggressive.
They're not.
Yeah, Sutter's not aggressive at all. He's a big guy, but he doesn't use it that much, especially now. So I think that's a big problem with their defense and why they do get scored on in front of the net.
They're a different dynamic. I think I've kind of said it before that Bonus needs to they need somebody to do. You need to do something slightly different here. You're not completely off page when you're structuring how you guys are playing, but
and that's why I asked
a whole portion of their game that's just not being revealed and is probably why you're losing.
And that's why we asked, should Bonus maybe there be a new voice in Dallas? And not that Bonus isn't a good coach and wouldn't get our job potentially, and that we want to lose his job. It's just it's the Paul Maurice situation. Maybe there's a new voice that needs to come in and get Sagan going. Maybe it's the coach. The people stop and think maybe Sagan's struggling because the coach is putting him in terrible places to succeed too.
Yeah. Bad mental mind and stuff, it's just not working, not clicking. It's not clicking.
This team doesn't look to click at all. So no, that's why they're my most
Sagan. Not clicking. Clearly.
Yeah, exactly. And
it should be an issue, especially after several years of it.
Yeah. So no, they just gotta be one of my most surprising teams. I had to mention them in there being 6th in the Central. When Chase, did you have second, third?
Okay, at the start of the year, I had them 5th or something like that. But now I have them in mid pack.
Yeah, they're not I never thought Nashville would be better. That's another team I should have brought up, but they're legit
they're actually
good.
underneath. They're they would be the next team I would have brought up when it comes to surprising.
Me too.
Good teams on the ups, surprisingly.
And
good.
then the Islanders on the down. I should probably mention how disappointing they've just been this year, especially at home. Like, oh boy, 2-5-3. Terrible.
Especially talking at this moment. Oh man.
Yes.
Not a good time.
Rough time on the islands.
Really looking for a different team after this, hey? Which is kind of starting to look like there's a little magic going here. Oliver Wahlstrom starting to heat up.
Maybe there'll be but
we might have something here in the Islanders, but we
might
got a Christmas break. We got all this crap going on. Like, who knows what we're gonna see when these guys come back to play and when we get back going again. So
never know what backup goalie you're gonna play next. So, anyways, is there anything else to note on? Before I close,
like good for all these guys. Get to play, hey? Like,
I love that goalies get to play, but I guess this is why we don't have a goalie carousel that often. This explains a lot. Why don't we just give this guy a chance? Well, there's a reason. So, anyways, do you guys have anything else to add before I close this out?
Nope, I don't think so.
The World Juniors are happening, right?
Yeah, we're doing that. Look out for the World Juniors.
Like the World Juniors.
Yes. As far as we know.
As far as we know currently, yes.
It is going to be a bubble situation.
The prelim.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll bring up. Did you know Mikko Koivu's the coach for the Finnish team?
I heard that actually. I completely slipped my mind until you mentioned that, but that's sweet.
I was like, what?
Doesn't get a cup. Maybe he'll get some gold.
Yeah, no doubt, buddy. No doubt. I'm looking.
The only NHLer this year seemingly able to get gold. Or former, I guess. I guess we didn't even bring that up.
Are we gonna rip up a little World Junior?
We are gonna bring that up. Christmas? Yes, we are. So be on the lookout. I was just gonna plug that. So be on the lookout for a World Junior Edition podcast. We're going to post that on the 24th. Now we're doing it before Christmas because we got a lot of places to go ourselves. So this will be recorded multiple days early, so we might miss a game before it's a game might be played before it's out. So just keep that in mind. We're just going to review the teams, talk about the tournament, maybe talk about who we think will win, maybe some leading scorers, stuff like that. Just the fun World Junior talk for about 30 minutes to an hour. So be on the lookout for that on the 24th or the 25th. That'll be our Christmas gift to you guys. Anyways, but go follow our social medias too on Twitter and Instagram, The Couch on Ice. Jordan's running our Instagram account, so he's gonna have a lot more than I did going with that. So make sure you check it out. And check out our YouTube page for any new videos or podcasts or everything you like hockey from us. Anyways, you guys have a Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you guys. We will all be back after Christmas, but you'll hear us for the Junior Edition.
Yep. Happy holidays.
Peace.